Hi everyone, this is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. Hi everybody, welcome to the next week, this week, whatever we're at. Gosh, I am a little bit sleep deprived. My magazine came out last night, or finished posting last night, and was up and running today. So yay for the new issue. I want to talk about a lot of things today, but we are going to have two in-studio guests, which I'm really excited about. We have Chris Korn coming, the Magic Man, and he's actually going to be doing magic and wine. Not really magic, just lots of wine, I think. And Brian, is that his guest? Mark is here. It's his friend, so I'm going to learn all about Mark pretty soon. And then we actually have comedian Natasha Estrada coming in, and I'm really, really looking forward to having her in. I think she's just one of the coolest people ever, and we'll learn all about her in a little while. But I do want to kind of address like the more important issues before I even get into all the fun stuff. Is for those of you who are watching the news, there was that awful Boston event on Monday. And I've kind of avoided the news just because sometimes it just gets to be a little bit overwhelming. But for those of you who don't know, on Monday during the Boston Marathon, there was two explosions that went off. One was more powerful that caused a ton of damage and a lot of injuries, and of 3 casualties. And of the 3 casualties, they were all so young. One little boy, his name is Martin Richard. I think he's the one that most affects me. 8 years old. And not only did he die in that explosion, but his mother and his sister were both injured. So the poor father is at the hospital trying to keep it together for the mom and the daughter while trying to deal with the fact that they have to mourn the loss of their 8-year-old son, who was just there probably supporting their mom in this race. And I don't understand what's going on in this world. I really don't. I also want to mention Crystal Campbell was also one of the 3 that were killed. She's from Medford, Massachusetts. She's there in the middle. And she's 29 years old. And then there's Lindsay Liu, who was a Boston graduate. And she is another one. And if you just look at these faces, they're all just so young. And so far, they don't know much. They know that these were pressure cooker bombs, and that their reach was expansive, and the count was under 100, but now it's actually almost at 200. There's 170 people reported injured, 76 of which are still hospitalized. And they said, okay, so the explosion happened about 2:50 in the afternoon, and it's about 2 hours after, thankfully, after the majority of people came across the finish line. But what I don't understand is, these people are there to run a race. This is not a political forum. This is not, I don't understand. Not like I would expect it to happen anywhere, but, at least when it comes to politics, you can understand the insanity that might come along with that. But, I had written on Twitter when this happened I know a lot of people in Boston, and our friend Danielle was actually there and had just finished the race when this happened. And, she's a mother, and just to like the fear that must run through these people's minds. And, so many people had the injuries that were sustained were actually, resulted in amputation and loss of limbs. And the trauma of this, these are literally, for one, the state of mind that you're in when you're running a race, right? You're fatigued, you're exhausted, you're going through all of this. And then at the end of all of that, to have something like this happen, and the people that were there who were just genuinely there out of sheer support for runners. This was not some political or social statement. These are just people trying to do something for themselves, probably to raise money for a cause, and all these things. And I don't understand what's going through people's minds anymore. And anyways, I had written on Twitter that it's awful when these events happen, and they just seem to keep happening, all the gun violence and things like that, and just all these awful things. There's awful things like rape, and I don't mean to keep saying awful. It's just they're monstrous, really. These are not acts of how human people are supposed to behave. Human beings are supposed to have more rational thought than this. And enraged by something, whether loss of a job or the economy or their political stance or their ideas that they're better than somebody else, or that everybody does, somebody is lesser than them, or whatever the cause, whatever the reason behind it, they're not valuing human life. And when we live in a society that doesn't value human life, something's wrong. Something's really, really, really wrong. And, I think that's my biggest problem. And so when I had written on Twitter, I had said, when I had Sebastian Younger on and we were talking about the things that he's seen some horrific acts of war. But at the same time, during all of these things, he does not lose faith in humanity, because he said, as much as there is bad, there's good to counter that. And I absolutely believe that. However, I wish that more good would get more coverage, because sometimes I think the people out there know that they're going to get the coverage they need by acting in such a heinous way. And so they do these things knowing that there's going to be coverage. And yet if we did the exact opposite and started telling about the really beautiful things that people are doing. I mean, I one of the interviews in my magazine was done by Greg Barraza, who's just this brilliant writer of mine. And he interviewed William Pilgrim, who's from William Pilgrim on the All Grows Up, which is a great band. If you haven't listened to them, please do. This guy was homeless on the street. He was, he could have been dead. He could be doing anything. And instead he turns to music. And, that's just one story. And I just feel like we need way more of those stories. And when things like this happen in Boston and people are mourning, hundreds of people that are injured, and just the shock really of what's happened in this beautiful, beautiful, historical city in the United States. And you can see the vigil that they were doing for those that were injured and the 3 that were killed. And, I don't want to believe that this is what we're resorting to, because I think that there's a lot of good. And one of the stories that Alexis was telling me is how in the midst of all this crap, people have really been coming together and offering their homes to people that were traveling there for the race, who probably are displaced and don't know what they're going to do or how they're going to get out, especially if they're with people that were injured. It's really a beautiful thing to see. People have opened up their homes to complete strangers and said, no, you just stay with us. We'll take care of you. We'll make sure everything's okay. And, and that's the one element I have to say that happens in any, empathetic society, which I would hope is the majority of societies in this world. 9/11 is a perfect example. Things that happen in London, there's bombings in Spain, there's all these things. And the thing is somehow there's this wonderful part of humanity in spite of all this awfulness and this evil and this ugly side of human behavior, is that people come together and they manage to tap into the fundamental sort of need that we all have to take care of one another. And I really, really would love if we could focus more on those kinds of stories and give a little less spotlight, I guess, to all the negativity. Because, I don't even watch the news anymore. It just got to be so horrifying. And, every time you turn on the news, it's like somebody's been raped or murdered, or, there's a drive-by, or someone's robbed somebody, or there's a carjack, or, a while back there was this ridiculous story that came out of near the USC campus, and there are these like gangsters, and all these rival gangs would come together to rob USC students, many of which were killed. And for what? And then they would go and they would make these videos and show these videos on YouTube, like, of the crimes, and nothing was getting done because, there's not enough manpower to take care of things like that. And my issue is that we are not asking more of ourselves. And I'm not saying people have it easy, because God knows everybody's had like some really awful things happen in life, and we've all struggled, and I know everybody struggles different, and some people have it really, really hard. But to not have any hope at all that you think hurting somebody else is the only way to remedy your pain or your frustration or your political stance or social stance or whatever angst you've got going on, it's just not. We got to do better than that. We do. So my call to action, I guess, to everybody that listens to this show and anybody who might watch it later is, be nicer to each other. Seriously, it's such a basic thing, but we're not doing it. Everybody's better than everybody else. Everybody's got something to prove, and we have to be better than that. And, in seeing things like what happened in Boston, it's just a wake-up call that, we can't take for granted the country we live in. We can't take for granted the world that we live in. We can't take for granted, most importantly, one another, because it really comes down to how we treat each other. And a lot of the things that happen are a direct result of how other people have been treated. And some people have been treated awful. We like basic stuff is, there's bullying that's still running rampant. And, the social confines that just force people to feel like they're less important or less pretty or less smart or less deserving. You know, all those things are just not acceptable at all. So not to get too serious, because we're going to have a really fun show here after this, but I had to talk about the Boston situation because it's just something that, you know, all too often, and assumptions are probably going to be made about who's responsible. And that really is even more mortifying to me, because if you look at our history, unfortunately, most of the awful things that have happened on our soil, with the exception of 9/11, were by Americans. And they were soldiers and people who were trained by the military. And I'm not saying the military is bad at all. What I'm saying is these people come back and they're forced to face such, you know, dire situations in the midst of any kind of war and commit atrocities in the name of justice. And then they come back and there's no support for them. There's no mental health for them. There's no, you know, and then oftentimes they just feel like nobody understands them. So they go into deep isolation, and then all these things start brewing, and it just causes this, you know, sort of adverse effect, which ends up being so negative. So I don't know what the solution is, but Obama, on the other hand, Obama's going to be going to Boston. When was that, Julio? On tomorrow. So hopefully his presence will at least assure people that this is being taken seriously. And I do hope that they figure it out, because right now, I don't know if you can put that up really quick before we have to go to break, but they did find there's 4 different pieces of evidence that they've found, and you can see them on the screen if you're watching, and if not, you can watch the broadcast later. But these were like pressure cookers that they put C4 explosives in, and various things that would create shrapnel, which, if you've seen any movie or done any research at all on war, what happens is they put these things together. They put these metal pieces or BB, like the BB bullets, they put them in, and what happens is, in a mass explosion, those go out at such an exponential force that it causes so much damage to anybody who's within a certain vicinity. And obviously this was going to do damage because it was in the middle of a street, in the middle of the day, and all these people were just on the sidelines for the race. So the damage that was done was really extensive. So anyways, we got to go before we take a break. I'm going to get cut off. But when we come back, we'll lighten it up, and we will have Chris Korn here and wine, and we will just talk about some good stuff. Thanks, you guys. We'll see you on the other side of the break. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
This is Anthony Sykes, your host for Sykes Accounting and Consulting radio show, where we help small businesses grow and give you tax tips every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us here on rantradionetwork.com. Thank you.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rant Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69-THE-3-GUYS.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on rantradionetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. Hi, you guys. Okay, so we're back on the air, and I have guests. Do you want to introduce yourselves? Because I've already introduced you now, so now you can introduce you.
I'm Chris Korn.
Magic Man.
Magic Man.
No.
Something like that. Magician extraordinaire.
Yes, I'm going to move this out of the... Well, I guess. Can you see you? Wait, you're not even on the camera. Here, scoot back over here. Maybe we need to...
Scrunch in.
Scrunch in. Come closer.
There we go. Closer.
Here we go. I got it. We're good, I think. Are we good?
Yeah, we're good. There we go.
That's better. Okay.
Makes it a little easier.
And he just made a comment about my little geisha-like dress, which is funny because he just came back from Hong Kong, and I had not put that together, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
I was like, nice tribute.
My homage to you and your sudden trip to Hong Kong. But then I have to,
Secret trip.
you know, and then if I'm really going to be a geisha, I got other duties apparently. So I did just take it there. I did. And Mark?
I'm Mark Newton. I'm just a friend of Chris Korn's here that was drug along on this lovely little journey.
Wait, let's put this thing down. You can adjust all of this here. We're going to just do some stuff.
Yeah, this is a good friend of mine, Mark Newton, who I'd met several years ago, and he's the one that really introduced me to the American wine market. He's from Northern California, from
Sonoma County.
Yeah.
Five-generation kid there. That's,
Santa Monica? No, I'm just kidding. We're all saying where we're from. Hi, where are you from today?
Yeah.
Well, they make a little wine right up the hill now. So
I know. Temecula, right? Oh, no. They probably do actually here in... don't they make some in Palos Verdes, too?
Palos Verdes, Malibu.
Yeah, Malibu, I know there's some wines. Isn't that what was one of the wines that I think you... No.
No, David brought
it. Was David? Yeah.
David Minkin brought it.
Yeah.
I don't really know. I'm not that familiar with... I can't keep up, to be honest. My head has been so overwhelmed, by the way, with the magazine that I'm like, okay, so finish telling us about you.
I moved to LA about 7 years ago.
From Sonoma?
Yeah, from Sonoma.
That is my favorite. I used to go to I had my appendectomy in Sonoma. 17 weeks pregnant.
Really?
It was my last hurrah.
Town of? Or where'd you have it?
I was in there was like a small little hospital in Sonoma. It was emergency, no maternity ward. They had to bring in somebody from San Francisco, and I was at Bartholomew Winery. Yeah, or Ledson. I think it was Bartholomew.
That's okay. Either one's fine.
Yeah. It was very exciting. So that's the last time I was in Sonoma.
You picked the right county to do it. And
I really did. Dr. Quackoud was his name. He was French. He says, "Can I help you? What is wrong? I cannot do these tests. I had to do something. We have to do surgery." And I was like, "Okay, Dr. Quackoud." He was like a grandpa. He was like the nicest doctor ever.
The accent made him made you feel he was more capable, though, correct?
It really did. I was like, you may not be from France and you may just be very good at the accents, but I'm totally sold. Cuts me open. Yeah, and I had like seriously like an 8-inch scar. Yeah, because you can't do it laparoscopically.
Wait, pregnant while you're...
Yeah,
having
I was
7,
and I had just entered my second trimester, which is highly dangerous. That if I had been like 1 week earlier, either I would have been a goner or my daughter would have been a goner.
I am so happy to be a boy.
Oh, yeah, it's fun. Being a girl is super fun.
We have it so easy.
You really do. What's your biggest problem? A colonoscopy. Not so bad. That's all I'm saying.
Not so bad.
Not like, go ahead, can you scoot forward in these stirrups just a little bit more? It's going to feel some cold. You know what I mean? Like, seriously, it is a 10-minute procedure of torture.
No, thank you.
Every 6 months. Not so great. I mean, it's not so fun. Or every year.
Every year.
I don't know.
I would guess.
Apparently, I'm really paying attention to my OB.
Extra cautious.
Well, I'm a girl. I've had problems, so what you gonna do?
What you gonna do?
Let's talk about that. No. So, anyways, needless to say, and when you have stuff like that happen, you do have to go more often because you're like scar tissue and all these disgusting, awful things that happen to your body.
Scars are cool though.
No, I don't mind. Actually, I had special surgery and had them keep my scar. Because I did not want to lose my 8-inch scar. It was like my war wound.
That absolutely is your war wound.
So I had them.
You're special.
My doctor thought I was crazy. I was like, do not take my scar. I'm not kidding you. So he was like, really? I said, no, I mean, just please.
Visible with the bikini?
No.
Hides just under the line.
But think you're getting the visual right now, aren't you?
I'm a very mental person.
Oh,
very
Mark's
visual
like,
person.
and what does the bikini look like?
And how many polka dots would you say are on that bikini?
Stripes, polka dots. Is there a ruffle on the ass?
Yeah.
Oh wait, butt on the butt. I can't say that.
Are there
on
bows on the hips? Yeah.
Are there? There are on some.
Oh, bows. I hadn't thought of bows. Excellent.
Bows if they're tied just right.
Okay.
Right.
No
You're
faux
getting
bows.
a little progressively red now.
Uh-huh.
So
I got sun this weekend.
Yeah, it's natural sun in the room. It's very, very hot. All right, so you just came back from Hong Kong. So wait, let's pour wine first. Shall we start with wine?
Yes.
Because we don't have, you know.
Let's give Chris something to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Okay. So tell us how you. I'm going to just tell the story. I shouldn't ask you to tell the story. But when you were on here last time, we said on the air that you wanted to do a tasting.
Yes.
So we've been trying to plan this now for some time. The traveling Woolberry over here has been out and about, busy, promoting the show, doing his own thing. Oh my God, you're going to have to give that to him. I need a very, very small taste. That's good. Like an actual taste. Like if I'm at a tasting room.
You're technically working.
Yeah, well, I am technically working, and I have to technically pick up my daughter. So, yeah. So I can't technically be drunk when I do that. Yeah. So wait, I want to smell this first.
This
Okay.
So tell Mark, tell a little bit about the wine.
This is just some. Growing up in Sonoma County, everyone I know is pretty much a chef or a winemaker or a grape grower. So this is something called Arnaud Roberts, two good friends out of Healdsburg. They're actually a couple of Napa boys that make wine in Sonoma, and they just got Winemakers of the Year from the San Francisco Chronicle.
Nice.
And they have
Smells really good.
They have basically been just doing it right for a very long time. So
salute.
Salute.
We have a rule. Do you know the rule? We went through this already. You're supposed to look at each other when you drink.
Always.
I thought it was only when you drank a lot.
Well, then the beer goggles are on, and then it's all bets are off. Yes, see, didn't you miss me? All right, so I know I haven't talked to you for like ever. It seems like, right? Okay, so you and I just have to say this really quick because you had a very sudden celebrity trip, if you will, celebrity Hong Kong trip.
Mm-hmm.
So tell me about this trip.
Yeah, it was very last minute. I had some clients. Several years ago, I worked at Buckingham Palace, the royal family, and these were the clients.
Wait. I think the best part is actually.
Let me just throw that down.
Do you know, once upon a time, the Queen hired me.
Well, a bit of a bore, isn't it?
You are the world's, according to Google, the world's most sought after magician. Did you know that?
I did.
Did you write
not
that?
know that. No, I did not.
Why? Because why comes to my mind.
Oh, 5 minutes left already?
I thought you were going to be like,
Okay.
Playboy of Magic? Like, what?
Yeah.
I don't know that, yeah.
Did you have to like curtsy?
Curtsy.
Did you get knighted?
No,
When you were
that would have
there?
been nice.
Yeah.
Sir Korn.
Oh my God.
no.
Sir Korn
Lord
Kesey?
Christopher.
You would make us call you that every weekend.
Wait, what did Ben come up with? What was his thing?
Korn.
What was his, like,
Oh, yeah. He's like
bump, what was it called?
postpartum bump.
It wasn't postpartum bump. It was like
Well, that sounded.
post-magic bump.
That was.
Postpartum bump.
That
because
still doesn't sound.
He's got baby on his mind.
He's got baby on.
Something
his
happened in
baby
Hong
on
Kong
his
there,
mind.
Chris?
No. Work is work, play is play. You do not mix the two.
Lucky our work is play, so.
I know.
Right?
I know.
Okay, so go on.
Yeah. So they were. My clients are from Austria, and their royalty, even though it's democracy there now, they still have some power, I guess. But her husband is from Hong Kong, and I used to work for them quite a bit. And I went over for their son's 21st birthday, who I had not seen in probably 15 years.
Wow.
The son, anyway. And he'd follow me around at the gigs. I would do it like, oh, my name's Max, M-A-X, because he's learning English.
Oh my
And now
gosh.
he knows 9 languages fluently
Gosh,
at the age
doesn't
of
that make
21.
you go, what did I do
And
with
I'm
my
like,
time?
what did I do last week
Right?
that I should have been doing?
You're like, God, I should be fluent in like 20 languages right now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I was a surprise guest. And so I couldn't announce on Facebook. And I have a lot of friends, or a few friends in Hong Kong. And everyone's like, why didn't you tell us you were here? I'm like, I couldn't.
A few friends. He says this. You probably have he's like, I only have 10,000 friends in Hong Kong. And they all know me personally.
I only have 74 million likes.
I've only been knighted 50 times, people.
Yeah, I know.
Come on. It's not that big a deal.
Sir Korn
Part of the
Kesey.
aristocracy. Shh.
Still can't find a date.
Still can't.
Right? No kidding. Oh, we're not touching on that topic.
Thank God you know him.
here's my question. I'm going to go back to Mark now. I'm going to give you some leeway on that one. So Sonoma. Like, I actually have to say, as much as I know everybody wants to go to Napa, I preferred Sonoma. I think Sonoma, for one, is the most beautiful. It's so beautiful.
We have the coast. Napa has a bunch of hot weather.
Yeah, and North Beach is not too far from Sonoma, right?
North Beach as far as San Francisco North Beach?
Oh, yeah, I guess so.
See, now North Beach is an area in San
not like
Francisco.
Sausalito area.
We're 40 miles.
Okay.
Seriously? We're 50 miles from San Francisco.
Clearly, I must have been drinking when my friends were driving me around. I was like, it's only 10 minutes away.
Go straight up the 101, and you just start running into little towns.
I do love. So now, where's the dairy? You know that little cheese farm, that little tiny where the ducks are. It's like such a beautiful little. It's tiny little.
Yes, that
in
is.
The middle.
I can't believe you. The name is escaping me. It's between Marin County.
Yeah,
and
it's
Sonoma
like near
County.
Mount Tamalpais, I
correct,
think, right?
Correct. That was my commute for about 7 years on the back roads because you avoided 101 like the plague.
Oh yeah, I'll drop a name. I used to go to the ranch, and it was like the funnest thing ever because you'd have to go through. I have to fix this thing. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm like, don't make any comments, please. Thank you. So you see, I know him now a little too well. You see, this is what happens when you become friends with your guests. You start to know. You start to know these things. So anyways, I can't really, this is killing me right now. Too much crap. I'll have to work. I didn't just unplug something important, though, did I? Please tell me I didn't. I'm going to plug it right back in.
I hear bedtime music.
God. I know. I actually do hear some
music.
I do hear
what
music.
Did you put in my wine?
Oh, gosh. It's coming from somewhere. Does somebody have Pandora on or something? Do you have Pandora on? I know what it is. It's my purse. My daughter's iPod is playing on its own. Oh, my gosh. Good thing we're taking a break in 1 minute. I
like it.
It is. We have elevator music here on the show. We have good fun here. I'm just telling you.
Back to the ranch.
So back to the ranch. No, but I love that little farm. It's such a great place to get wine and cheese and just sit.
You can just go sit on the back roads and just enjoy it. Most of Sonoma County and Western Marin County is that way. It's still very rural.
It is.
Farming, pretty much Italian and Portuguese ranchers still own about 95% of it. You know, so
I think you kicked it on actually.
Oh, did I?
I think you did. It's totally fine. Listen, we have 20 seconds left, so we'll just deal with that later. During the break, I will remove the background music. That is, I think, like Elizabeth Mitchell or something very sleepy and fun. At least it's not hip hop because she straight up likes thug music. You know, Two Trailer Park Girls go around the outside, right? Yeah. All right, we will be back right after the break, you guys.
All right, awesome.
Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bankmark, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
We are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rand Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in because one has Tourette's. The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69 3 Guys. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. I'm not checking my, oh, no. Okay, there we go. I was fine. Okay, I need to check my, we're trying to, do multitasking here. Doing a wine tasting on the air with, no prep time. Is,
that does not porn.
When you arrive after the show begins, it's a little tricky. Okay, so now let's talk about the next wine that we're drinking. Let's distract each other with wines.
I basically sent Korn on a little trip this morning and said, go find A, B, C, D, and E. Local Sonoma County guys that I know that are, relevant makers. So, unfortunately, most of these guys are very sought after, very popular, very hard to find in LA.
And very limited, I'm sure, in their
limited.
cases. Yeah,
absolutely. So,
it's like Wally's or something.
The only couple we could find today are one of the Arno Roberts wines, and then Donkey and Goat, which is another.
That's a great name, though. Donkey and Goat, right?
Brilliant, wonderful name.
Because I have a joke. I can't tell it on the air.
Come on. Okay, leave it alone. Leave it alone.
It's about a goat and a That's it. That's all I can say.
There's a good handful of other guys, that I know that I'd love to, not like plugging them here, but just supportive, good guys I mountain bike rode with and eat with and, made wine with for years. Unti, another great, Sebastian makes wine for them, wonderful. Stu Miller. I mean, you've got Longboard Odette, who makes wine for Jay, also makes his own Longboard Vineyards. These guys, they're all car guys, bike guys. They're into like a ton of other things,
right.
But wine is kind of their world. So
that's kind of that region. Really, they're like. I mean, this is why I love that region. To me, it's a little bit like Santa Barbara, where it's just kind of like wealthy hippies. Everybody's mentality.
Yippies.
Like yuppie hippies.
So everybody left San Francisco after the 60s,
Yeah.
moved up to Sonoma and Mendocino and farther north.
Like the Coppolas and the
Bought
all
a
these
bunch of
guys,
properties, were dirt poor. Now they're all land rich.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got a bunch of old hippies driving Range Rovers and with multi-million dollar
And
properties.
it's the best though. That's a visual right there.
Yeah.
Right. I should do a story just on that.
No, you seriously should.
I'm going to, as it stands, because now I'm going to be going up to Sonoma, like every other month. Is that?
Yeah, every month actually would be.
Can
good.
I would so do it. Don't tempt me. I'm not kidding you.
Please.
You've been to Healdsburg, though, right?
Have I? I might have. You know how long it's been
it's
since I have just
amazing.
taken great trips, just to take great trips? 10 years, my man. 10 years.
10?
Oh, yeah. I haven't been to Sonoma. My daughter's 6. Okay, so we're going 7 years I haven't been to Napa or Sonoma. It's been a rough.
So it's only about a
Everybody's-
7-hour drive straight up a really
It is
straight
really
road.
not 7 hours. If you're me, it's about 4.5.
Okay, I want to ride with you.
Yes, I am.
Exactly. That's what
I
it's
am-
like riding
Look
with
at my
him.
father had race cars growing up,
Okay.
MGs and all these things. Like we used to sit like on the hump.
What kind
There
of
was no
car?
car seat.
We need to talk then.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
have
yeah.
a car problem. That's really my passion.
Oh well, you know what? Did you know I was? Well, it's not really probably your thing, but I got to be one of the few people in the world to see the Wraith before it came out.
Really?
I did a whole review on it. Went to like this crazy little place in Culver City where it was like this private warehouse. There's armed guards outside, 3 levels of security to go through to this special room where they do this big presentation. And I'm in there with like pro football players, and
You lucky girl.
it was pretty fun. It was. I'm not gonna lie. Thank you, Sahar. Yeah, Sahar at Westlake, Agar coach. Agar coach is the reason I'm there. And yeah, the weekend I was supposed to get a Maserati to drive around was like a big old crazy weekend I didn't get to. But so Sahar, I'd like my Maserati. We can go up north to Napa.
You get a Maserati, I will chauffeur you to Napa. Excuse me, Sonoma.
On
No
the
Napa.
air. I'm getting a high five on that one.
Done.
Let's do like a gentleman shake,
Done.
please. Thank you. Gentleman lady shake, please.
Absolutely.
So proper here. We're so proper. So, okay. So now, come on, wine man. Let's talk.
Let's do.
So now, what is your... I mean, I love that we're promoting all these wines. Do you have a favorite wine? Are you a white wine? I know you actually
I like
pers-
reds, actually. I thought today we would do some lighter wines like
'Cause
white,
it's spring.
and rosé. Yeah,
And this is what
They
you were
smell lighter.
instructed to get.
Yeah, well, I had some other
This
things
is
on the
exactly
way.
the opposite of what I instructed him to get. It's
Oh,
corn.
really?
He came with other things, yes.
No. I have things that are probably arriving today, so
Oh,
I
that's right,
probably
your
have
shipment. That's right.
like 2 or 3 cases.
Him and I are
of-
going to have a great weekend drinking and eating.
I know. It's a wrong weekend for me to be gone, but yeah.
So yeah, those
Austin
were
next
showing
week.
up. So this is what we had to grab locally due to the lovely the Venice post office closed, the big one. So now it's a
I
tiny
know.
little office, so
I'm a
everything
little
is
bummed about-
delayed.
Wait, who purchased it?
Well, and there's only one company in California that will deliver wine. There's only one, like UPS and FedEx cannot ship wine
Not
anymore.
K&L?
It's no. Is that what it is?
I think it might be K&L.
It's like you have to go to like some place in like oh god, where's the Torrance? It's in Torrance, like the main hub. Like if you don't get it, like they'll try to deliver it in a couple days, but it's like a California law thing.
Well, I know a lot of the guys that make wines in Sonoma. That was a big deal. There's, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years ago, where many of them were New York guys, East Coast guys, and they could no longer ship wines to their home state.
They can't. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's and I'm wondering if it's just because like underage drinkers, like there was probably one instance, right?
No, somebody
always
wasn't
just
paying
one.
somebody, and the ATF wasn't happy. And,
I do want you to know, by the way, that I really wasn't. I really did think ahead. I had little brioche bread and cheese and a torta, and I forgot all of it. Yeah, this is what happens when you have a magazine deadline and your magazine launches the day that you have a great radio show.
You're the hardest working woman in Hollywood.
You are. We need to mix a
I
little bit of
had-
fun in here.
Oh, I have a lot of fun. I'm just going to tell you. But my interviews, by the way, were so incredible. And Pacha Bonton's going to actually come in here and perform. He was one of the interviews. We have UB40 that's going to post next week.
Oh, wow.
Or
great.
2 weeks from now when I get back from Austin. Some really incredible. Sebastian Younger did his full interview. No, it's been a phenomenal. So there's a good reason for me to forget. My brain was totally distracted for all the right reasons.
I just got back from a week of partying in Austin, so I feel for you. That's good.
You know, it's for the Food and Wine Festival.
Excellent.
Yes. So I'm really, really excited.
We were there for cars and music. So.
But it's Austin, really. You could go for any reason, and Austin
Brilliant
is such a
place.
great. I love Austin.
First time I've
I'm
been to
trying not to turn my back to you, but I mean, I can't help it, I guess. But yes, if Rod is listening, if you could work on those sponsorships so that we can get her to come along, that would be fantastic. And all my chefs that I know are listening in Austin, like Ned and Sean and Tyson, let's make this happen. So Tyson Cole I interviewed from Uchi and Uchiko. Did you get to go there?
No, I did not.
It's a great. He was professionally trained by some of the best Japanese chefs in the world, and really rather young guy in Austin actually. I think he can't be more than like being in his 30s or something. And then Mark Paul's at Wink, which is a wine bar, which is he's just like he'll come out and just hang out, just sit.
It's very small.
Talk.
Austin's a very small town.
It's a big city with a small town feel.
Yeah, very surprised.
I mean, we were
Perfect
talking about this when you were here.
description.
I
Yeah,
loved it.
perfect
I feel like
description.
everywhere you go, everyone's your friend.
Yeah.
You're hard pressed to find an unhappy, mean person in Austin.
That place, we were there for the Lone Star Roundup, which is a really massive car show.
Yeah.
And more people driving their cars from all over the country. And it was packed.
Oh, I'm
Not
sure.
to mention the end of South by Southwest.
Right,
Everyone was
oh.
friendly, no issues, no parking. Cops weren't crazy.
No, they're nice.
It was mellow.
They're nice. They're like, you might want to move your car. Not like 2 seconds and I'm giving you a ticket. Welcome to Beverly Hills, you
You're
know?
only, I know.
Right?
You're only 3 times the legal limit, but you just go ahead.
I know, God.
Your hotel's
Slow
closed,
down.
right?
You're like,
We'll follow
2.5.
you.
You know,
Hurry up. Go
Go
home.
home.
You know?
You should get off the street
Okay,
immediately.
wait. So when I go though, this is so cool. I'm staying with my friends who have a domesticated cheetah.
What?
I am not kidding you. It is okay. Let me see if I can pull the picture up. I'm pulling the picture up during our next break.
Thought
We
you were
have
gonna
4
say
minutes left
domesticated
before our
pig.
next break. I am looking, Julio. By the way, greatest like operator booth man. What would your title technically be? He is like my dude.
Your sound man.
No matter what I say. No. Have you watched Newsroom?
Whoa.
Newsroom,
wow.
like the
All
show
right.
Newsroom on Showtime?
Hmm.
I know. She's like, no, I am. Alexis really is my right hand. I'm going to say that to the world. And she's really stepped up and really been like an actual limb. So
And you leave her sitting in the corner.
no, I have baby in the corner. No, because she's taking notes.
Well, you should keep drinking, and she'll pick up your child today.
Oh, God, no.
And
Oh,
that nice
God.
Mustang she owns.
You could actually go to dinner with us and go to an event tonight. We're going to Nirvana. Kama Sutra style. That's all I'm saying. Actually,
I was like,
the lounge is. They're like, we're in. When do we go?
Yeah, what?
You know, if you've
Let's check
never
our
been,
schedule
I
after
know.
this.
I met the owners, and I'm meeting Nita Mittal, who is the wine owner of LXV, and we're meeting at Nirvana in Beverly Hills, which the whole thing is themed around the Kama Sutra. Very cool. Is your thing going off again, or are we actually? No.
Nope.
It was what you just said.
By the way,
I know.
by
That
the
was
way,
our music coming from
the
inside
music
of
was
us.
not my daughter's iPod. I would like to call
Oh,
you out on the air. Yeah, he was looking at me like, "Oh gosh, what a radio host in her iPod, right?" And it was not. It was my guest who, in his pocket, was like chilling with his band from St. Louis, who was not sleepy at all when I actually heard it.
No, she's amazing.
So maybe she should be on the show too.
Yes.
Yeah. So we've got some good musicians coming in. By the way, I really can't drink wine. Just FYI. Oh my god! In the afternoon on
Alexis,
the air.
pass it down the line.
You want some? You should try it anyways. Yeah. I'm all set. I'm gonna stick with my. Yeah.
Little water.
Yeah. I don't know how these. You know what though? My agents asked me to put together a reel. So perhaps the next time you come on, it'll be an actual TV show.
Real.
How
We
great
need
would
to
that
get
be?
you. Part of the reel needs to be you in a Maserati tearing through wine country.
That would actually
There
be the
we
greatest.
go.
You know, and all we need is Mike to edit it, because I
Yes.
need Mike to edit it, and then I just need a camera guy.
With a multi-generation local showing you around.
Oh yeah, you're multi-generational.
See?
really.
I'm
Look
like
at how
one of
he's
the
like.
rare guys
I'm
around
very,
there.
very PC. I am all right.
Yes. Why?
Are we on
He's
radio?
This one so mixed.
Took him as hanging
is this
out.
for real? It's just the four of us, right?
It is. We're just hanging out, having.
Great.
But see, this is the beauty of. It would be fun to have a show, right? Like a TV show. For this reason, because I think that it should be like this.
If I could just
Like
do
a
what I
round
wanted,
table?
that would be fine.
Yes, and that's honestly, there should be very little restrictions with the exception of cussing.
Watching what he has dealt
1 minute
with.
left. We have 1 minute left.
Yes. Watching what he has dealt with via TV
No,
and his business
No, I wouldn't.
would make me run from it, away from it.
You
I
know how
don't
long
care
I've
what
worked
kind of
in the film industry and TV industry?
can't even believe it.
19 years.
You are gluttons for punishment.
No.
I hide in my
You know
shop
what it
and I
is?
build things.
It
seems
spanks you,
so wonderful and
then
simple.
I go hide and I write wonderful things, and that's fine. That's why I used to be on the other side of it, in like the thick of production, and decided I would be Oz and I would be behind the curtain, and just write really cool, brilliant, hopefully, movies, movies, and then I got the magazine, and all these things happened, and but then I never liked being in front of a camera, so this was a whole new.
I've never done this before. This is
No,
unbelievable.
it's really hard for me. I would not look. I mean, right now you guys are here, but normally when it was just me, I would not look at the camera. I had a really hard time knowing it was on me. So it's been a big adjustment.
Is that my iPod again?
No. All right, we will be back after this break. Thank you guys for tuning in, and we got good time. We have good time to really do this. Okay.
Thanks for
We'll
tuning
be back.
in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time. Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concepts, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on rantradionetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rand Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the three guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's. The
You
other
really-
one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3 guys. G-U-Y-S and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more Mucho Macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. All right, you guys, we're back, and you know what we were talking about on the break? Hanging beds. Imagine where this conversation has gone. Let's talk about that. So he built a hanging bed at Chris's house, which I've seen, and let's just clarify, not quite the way that you think.
Not creepy.
No, not in a... No, I just wanted to see...
Classy, not creepy.
Keeping it classy, San Diego, right? Like, I really need like an outro like Ron Burgundy. I want like a Ron Burgundy. There's got to be like a good outro. Like, stay classy, San Diego is just the best one.
It is.
Right? We've got. Did you hear that the second one's coming out? I'm very excited, and I know that makes me cheesy, but old school and all the. I loved those movies. I think there's we need a good reason to just laugh.
Make me laugh in a simple way.
No, and it's so smart because we've all known people like that. Let's face it, right? The people who just can't quite get out of the fraternity mentality, and you're like, it's time.
I have old antenna TV in my big workshop, and it just sits in the corner, and I have like 15 or 20 channels, and the Three Stooges have been on for days.
But see, I love that. But that's like
a girl who loves the Three Stooges.
Really? Oh my God, I love the Three Stooges.
The simplicity of it is brilliant.
It is.
That's what makes it so great.
Yeah.
No, it is. It's like the dumbest show. Well, it's like the Dick Van Dyke Show and all these other really great.
Well, everything's evolving from the
shows,
complicated back to the simple. So.
Yeah, have you watched TV lately? Yeah.
Well, you go to
reason I have antenna TV.
Yeah.
LCD.
And listen to the radio.
Right. LCD. You always go to the lowest common denominator.
714. I'm wondering. Did you call me from? I'm wondering if that's Natasha. I'm sorry.
I didn't call you.
Look, I did get a really nice long email from you. I just got that.
Trying to get
and I have to say that I just got a really nice text from Cletus who said. I'm not going to say that on the air.
A text? I'm assuming a text from someone named Cletus would not be appropriate on the air.
It just said, "You are one sexy woman. Have a great show." Thank you, Cletus, if you're watching. Thank you. So, all right. So here's the thing. Why are people not? You guys are really shy about the texting and the calling, and you guys all want to instant message me on Crackbook, but, you know. So, all right. Here's the... Well, it doesn't really matter. We're not talking about the magazine yet, but I do want to talk about the magazine because
absolutely
we have to get to that because it's a big issue. So we're talking about going to Sonoma.
Yes.
Are you going to Sonoma? Is everybody going like make a big party bus?
A
party bus to Sonoma.
I drug Chris to Sonoma.
Like literally, did you drag him?
Drag him. I said, "Hey, let's go to my hometown. Let's go play."
Like, here's a special drink.
Right. I just make him do shows everywhere he goes, and half the time he expects them, and half the time he doesn't.
Oh, okay.
I threw him under the bus at Burning Man one time. Wasn't very nice. He was a little hungover. Yeah. But Sonoma, he is.
I would like to actually see like a real show. I've never seen.
Oh,
do you
so
know that?
would I.
No, I have never.
I would love to.
I mean, like going to like an actual show that you host, or like going to one of the events that you host.
Well, next time, we head to Sonoma or
When
Healdsburg.
He does shows for friends at restaurants like the wineries, and he is.
Well, we'll have to talk because I have
one of the wine caves.
Really great.
Bella Wine Caves.
See, I have all these brilliant ideas for like private exclusive events. They're all visually stunning, and they would incorporate things like that and just tapping into your senses.
You have no idea what you're creating right now.
I know. I hope your wheels are spinning because I'm not kidding you. Like
Mine never stops, so
I have brilliant, and I'm very visual because I see things cinematically. So
if we can just keep this one's reins pulled back, we'll be okay.
Oh, well, this reindeer.
No,
I make Rudolph. I put Rudolph to shame.
He does. He's like, what Rudolph a nose? Come on, man. Come on. Really?
Nothing.
He's like, I've got my grandmother's coin.
And that's how it's.
Oh,
Joe.
This is how you like me.
All right. Foot, mouth, corn. Now. Yeah. Well, I met Mark years ago. I was at a restaurant and doing at Hal's, I think.
Oh, in Venice.
He was with him and a buddy of ours, JP, and they were walking by a table, and I was working for some celebrities, and at the time. They were just walking by, and they just stopped, and then, like,
What's
literally,
this idiot doing?
Yeah, and then they were like, "Oh my gosh, what?" And they're laughing their asses off. And then a few minutes later, we end up talking at the bar, and within 15 minutes, we were all best buddies. And the big thing with Mark is that impressed me is one of my strong suits in magic is creativity, and I think it's important in any area is to explore. Once you study all the basics, you have that information, gather that information, and now you know how to really use it, because now you can look at something like what's sitting on this table. We have the berries, we have the wine glasses in the bottle. What can I do with those things? And if you're well read, I can do a 10-minute show just with the items on the table.
Do I dare test that theory right now?
We can after break, absolutely.
Okay.
But so when I met Mark, Mark and JP are both extremely creative people. JP was a big part of the .com business, and Mark, with his creativity in steelwork, he makes amazing custom steel gates to
swinging beds.
Swinging beds that are
So
work hard. I'm partnered in a company.
Do I want to know how that came out? That whole
The
idea of a
bed?
swinging bed. I'm
Yeah,
sure.
he had a hot tub on his patio.
Yeah, I heard about the hot tub and the
Landlord
peeping Tom
didn't
across
like
the
it.
way.
Decided to tear it out.
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, it's causing leaking," which it wasn't.
right.
Which it wasn't. But
So we had to come up with something to replace something as cool as a hot tub.
Like a time machine.
I'm working on that. It's still in development.
Did I tell you that line? It was like when I had this. Wait, I have to say this joke because it was so funny for years. So when I first moved there, so there used to be a hot tub, and anytime I'd have a guest or a date over, they'd be like, "You didn't tell me you had a hot tub." And I'm like, "Oh, I guess I didn't mention the time machine either."
See?
I know.
Right
what's
here,
up?
man. We're right
here.
Here. Friends forever.
So, yeah. So
BFFs.
Mark, I was going through a crazy rough time, whatever, and my friends all pulled together and said, "Hey, let's redo Korn's balcony." And Mark made this phenomenal hanging bed
It
out
is
of steel.
actually. I have to
it
say,
rocks you right to sleep, like you're out.
I fell asleep just sitting on the bed just for a second.
That stemmed,
I'm not kidding.
That bed stemmed from a friend at the Biscuit Company lofts in downtown LA. Wanted me to build him a normal, big, high-post bed. I gave him a quote on it. Came to his loft. Got a beautiful, small loft, so we really had to make use of the space.
Right.
And he said, "Can you make it hang from the ceiling?" And he basically thought it'd be about the same price, and it ended up being almost 7 or 8 times the money. But he happily did it, and it ended up being a big, beautiful mezzanine with a circular stairwell to it, and wood floors on it. It was spectacular. Then he ended up with kind of a smaller version of it. So.
But it's still really cool. And the dual hammocks above it.
That was something. He had a hammock, I had a hammock, and that was just. There's a constant evolution.
I was not
that goes
comfortable
on with
in the
building
hammock. I have to tell you,
okay.
I was not feeling very.
Well, because you're a little.
They have a
too high
purpose.
off
We'll
the
talk
ground.
about later.
I'm gonna leave it there. I'm gonna leave it there.
No, they're very. The
Gosh, our breaks are happening fast, huh? That's good. Okay, maybe we miss the next one when Natasha comes on. Maybe we. Okay.
Yeah, no, the
Hi, Natasha. By the way. Where are you?
Hi, Natasha. We can see you.
I can't see you in the window. You have to peek through a little bit more.
You have to stand up a little bit.
I can't see you.
There.
Oh. There she is. And you're ooh la la. Oh yeah, no, she's no joke. She's my pinup girl.
I'm surrounded by beautiful pinup girls.
You really.
Thank you, Mark. I
I
appreciate
know.
that.
Chris, I really love your pinup dress. It's so pretty.
I do have pink on.
Your boobs look so good.
I'm that outlaw that wears pink.
Oh yes, we've had this discussion, right?
Yeah, indeed
We're
we
not
did.
going back to that
No,
discussion
we're-
ever again. No, it's a whole nother topic. So okay, now we have we've talked about what hanging beds.
Well, no, I was saying,
Sonoma.
You're going to Sonoma. We got hanging beds.
Oh, I am so going to. I'm not kidding you. I get back from Austin on the 30th, and then I have to be home with my daughter the following weekend. But then I have another weekend away.
Use me.
I am.
Thank you.
I'm so doing it right now on the air. I'm using Mark.
We all
But
have
you know
to
what
be,
the
we all
best?
have to be good for
this
something.
is the thing: is have you seen my magazine? Do you know how great the stories are going to be?
I have not. I can't wait.
Are you kidding me?
Look at
Million
what
people.
information do you think I get out of
Million
this
people
one?
know my magazine, man. I gave you my card.
Now I know. Now I can do my research because
Yes, you really should, because I'm really good at what I do.
I depend on a magician for my information.
So it's
we keep secrets
so
for a
trying
living.
to say it's a magic. It's a magic. Am I a secret? Am I your best kept secret? I'm just kidding.
That's the best I've ever heard you put
Totally
it, though.
kidding.
You keep secrets for a living.
That is actually, but that is kind of what magic is. I mean, we could get serious for like 2 seconds. We have.
Yeah, but you can reveal. It's the whole thing is telling someone how a trick is done. They don't understand the work and the effort and the love that goes into the craft. So they just go, "Oh, that's it."
Right.
I thought he was an idiot until I realized how much work went into this stuff. Then
No,
I
no,
went,
no.
"Oh, okay, you're actually frighteningly talented."
Come on, people who juggle, like that's the simplest thing in the world, right? But do you know how much practice it takes to juggle?
To juggle
And
11
make
balls
it,
at
no,
one
and make,
time.
but I mean, like make it look effortless. You know what I
Who?
mean? That's what you do.
Who was at your house that day? The math teacher from St. Louis that was just juggling.
Al Stanger.
When I first met Korn, this guy's a math teacher from St. Louis, a buddy of Korn's. He's one of the world's best jugglers, and he's just talking to us, juggling. I don't even know.
But that's what I'm saying. I mean, that's how I think that's why you look when I even like on the Magic Outlaws little, you know, like the small portions, which I really hope they're filming more of those.
Yeah, we're waiting to find out.
They need to film more of them. They need to. It just plays so well on TV. The Travel Channel needs something like that. So, pay attention. Just FYI. No, but I think the fact that you do everything, it's so easy to watch. It almost makes you go, oh, it's just easy. And it's not. And then you start going, holy crap. How did, like when you did, I mean, you were here on the floor, 4 coins. We're watching. And I'm a cynic.
I was dressed, though.
You were dressed.
4
So does this mean you can't do magic when you're not dressed? The security, right? Didn't wait, oh God, wait. That came out so much worse than I meant it to. And I'm in a room with men. Of course you can do magic when you're not dressed. I got it. Oh my God. I think we're going to take a break on that note. I still have 2 more minutes of suffering on that. So, moving on. I think I look like the color of
You haven't learned not to
raspberry.
instigate him yet?
No, I have. I just choose not to. I have wised up. Yes. But yeah. So, anyways, moving on.
Yeah. So it's no. The whole thing is with magic. You want to make it. Part of the thing is you make it look very easy. And if anything, for me, that's
giving
been
you the
a
60
criticism.
second.
Yeah. Little the criticism. I make things look like they just happen in my hands, and people don't understand that it's. I've literally put a little over 30,000 hours into what I do.
But it's when you watch your hands, you do things so almost just to make sure that we believe what you're doing. Like you don't speed through it. It's
No.
very like methodical.
I've come over and found Chris sitting in front of a mirror, Indian style, normal floor-length mirror. You girls looking to check yourselves out before you leave your house, just doing the trick over and over. And I mean for days, not hours.
That's why you're the best at what you do.
Yeah.
I mean, you really are, and I know, like I gave you a hard time on the other side, but you really are. I mean, you're amazing at what you do, and just the love and stuff that I know you put into it. It's so appreciated. So, anyway, perfect timing.
Chris again with the
On that
music.
side, yes. All right, we will be back on the other side of the hour. I'm gonna maybe bring Natasha in here if we can make this work and have a little fun before we have some more wine. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host Dawn Garcia on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
This is Anthony Sykes, your host for Sykes Accounting and Consulting radio show, where we help small businesses grow and give you tax tips every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us here on rantradionetwork.com. Thank you.
We are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rand Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69 3 Guys, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Laza with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on rantradionetwork.com.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. Hi, you guys. All right, we are back on the air. We need to bring up the camera just a tiny bit, but we have Natasha now in the studio, and we'll get you on the camera in like 2 seconds. And she's got wine. And then we also have Chef Tom hiding in the background. So we have a very full, like very unexpected, by the way. We have an unexpected guest, Mark, and we have unexpected guest, Tom. So Tom is a great chef, by the way. Great chef, like NBC chef.
I'm not saying anything.
We'll just say a very cool TV chef.
Which of these mics is hot? Is this one on?
Yeah, I don't even know if any of them are on. We need to work on that probably.
You can sit on my lap. All right, here we go again. How does this always happen?
Oh, look at that. We've got the drink.
Okay, so Natasha, you can't see Natasha right now, but you will, and she looks stunning. She is like the... Wait, we got to figure this out, the camera situation.
Come over here so you're right in frame.
Okay, all right. Mark, we're swapping.
Look at that. Oh my
yes,
gosh.
you come over on this side. Okay.
So I'll tell you, this is the height of sophistication right here.
It is. This is what we're doing.
The camera.
Okay. Oh, we're all...
It's like the Three Stooges.
Seriously.
I'm sorry, you guys. It's all very unexpected. This is what we do when we're doing it live.
It's called musical chairs.
It is.
Are you
okay,
gonna
wait.
come sit over here next to me?
No, can we actually
Yes.
have her
She can
sit
sit
there
on your lap.
first? Because she's my comedian. She's my star.
Nice.
Oh.
Yeah, she's my star. She's no joke. She's... Here I am. Okay, there you are. All right, and so get comfortable. All right, we're gonna make room for everybody. Okay, so we're probably gonna have Tom off camera for right now, and then you can come on camera and like in like the next break. We're good. Are we good? Yeah.
I don't have headphones. Is that important? Can I?
Well, it might make you feel like you can hear. Well, you can hear us though, can't you?
Yeah, I
hear
mean,
us?
you're right here, so it's
Really?
pretty- yeah.
Oh, you are on it, sister. Okay.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming. Okay, so, so Chris, magician, he's the magician I was telling you about.
Oh, Magic Man.
See? Yeah.
I like it when you say it that way.
I know, she says it. Everything sounds so pretty when she says it. Okay, and then tell me about, you have a really interesting story. Okay, so.
I have lots of interesting
You
stories.
really do have lots of interesting
We like interesting stories.
Yeah, no, you are great at everything that you're doing. I mean, like every aspect of every part of
I'm not used to a woman saying that to me, but.
Well, and I mean it, so I'm not trying to slay with you. It's real. It's legit. Okay, so tell me about the comedy stuff first.
Okay.
That's the most recent, right?
Right, yeah. Well, last summer, I just, by a fluke, actually, from being single, and I'm a single mother with a 2-year-old son, and
Yay
trying
for
to
single
date
moms.
in LA and it's pretty impossible. So actually, I was wondering, do you remember those shows like Chuck Woolery, 2 and 2, The Love Connection?
2 and 2.
That's right. With that
yeah.
big watch. Love a man with a big watch. Yeah, so a girlfriend of mine.
You know what they say about a man with a big watch. He
There was
always
actually
knows what time
a
it
dating
is.
show that was coming up, hosted by George Lopez, and a girlfriend of mine met the casting director and said, "I have this friend that would be perfect." And so I ended up getting a gig on this dating show.
Wait, do we have the picture from that Julio?
And it was so funny the way it worked out because everything was on the spot. It was all improvised, and they'd bring a guy out, and I don't know what, like all these one-liners were just snapping out of me. And at one point, George was like, "Where do you come up with this stuff? I don't even think of this, and I'm a comedian." So I realized how much fun I had.
And that coming from him, I would take that. And run with
I'll
that.
take it. I mean, I'd take it if anybody said it. So it was good though. So I kind of got bit by the bug of comedy, and I had been to a lot of stand-up comedy shows, but I always saw that after doing burlesque and singing and performing.
We'll have to get back to that, the burlesque side of it too.
But to me, stand-up comedy always seemed like the most terrifying thing. It's something I thought I would never ever do, because to get up and make me laugh. I paid, make me laugh. I mean, with burlesque, it's like you always have that money shot at the end.
Right.
I'm sorry. Let's talk more about that.
And so, and same thing with singing. You know, it's fun. I sing in so many different projects, and some of them are more about
I
the
heard about your
performance.
band.
Yeah,
So
we're performing at LA Live tonight.
Are
actually. Yeah, so that's really exciting.
Wow.
How do you say it?
The
Cholita.
conga room.
No.
Oh, Cholita.
Cholita.
Yeah,
oh, like a
that's my-
cholita? Like seriously, like chola,
Yes,
like cholita, like you need to talk like this when I talk to you? Okay.
Yes,
I
I'm
love that.
actually the whitest Mexican. Me and Louis C.K. were both Mexican Hungarian.
Mexican, Spanish, and Welsh. sister.
Yeah. So there you go.
Grandfather's godfather was Pancho Villa.
Ooh, I like that little tongue roll. Who did that? Come sit over here.
Can you do that? Oh, no, I was going to say something so crude, and I really am glad I caught
I'll
myself.
say it.
We were all right there with
I
you.
was thinking it. Yeah.
We were all
Yeah.
thinking it. All thinking it.
Well, now you know how my brain works, everybody. Okay.
Let's have more wine, Dawn, please.
God, seriously. Okay.
So yeah,
go on.
I started with the comedy. I made my debut performance at the Hollywood Improv, and it was a sold-out show. It was incredible, and ever since there was a scout there booking for the Comedy Store, and I got booked to do the Belly Room. It was amazing, another sold-out show, and then I was booked for the main room. And that was pretty.
I'm so bummed with Whitney Cummings.
Yes,
and,
yeah, and so that was really amazing, and things are going really, really well, and I love it. And
Next show,
things have been really busy, so I'm thinking it will be May 10th at the Comedy Store in the main room.
Okay, so we're going.
So you got to stay tuned. Yeah,
yeah,
and
we'll plug it again. We'll have you come back again, and it'll just be you, and you can do your thing.
No, I like being surrounded by all these men.
It is
It's
nice. I'm
And
gonna say
booze.
it
It's
definitely
like
makes me feel.
So you've got.
Friday night for me.
We've got wine, we've got men. I mean, seriously.
And berries.
And berries.
Raspberries,
Nutberries
blueberries,
and nuts.
blackberries.
Is it? Can we start talking more about burlesque? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Sure, we can.
So she said, right? Dita. Yeah. So you actually performed with her.
I did. Yes, I did. She obviously was and still is one of my burlesque idols. I think she's really innovative and amazing, and there's nobody else like her.
No.
And there's nobody doing what she's doing. And she was the first performance that I had ever seen. I went to a big festival, and she was the big headliner that year, and this was maybe like 10 or 11 years ago. And then, so I always, of course, it's like, you see your favorite band or somebody that inspires you, and that's who you would dream to perform with. And right after I had my son, I had stopped performing because obviously no one really wants to see pregnant burlesque. Maybe in Japan. I don't know. There might be a market for it somewhere.
There is a market. I guarantee you there's a market.
Yeah. So, and I was kind of wondering.
Actually, a little closer to home, like there's a donkey show. I'm guessing
Oh,
there's
well,
probably a pregnancy show. That's all I'm saying.
Donkey and goat wine. That's
Oh my God! Wait, I need to check.
So actually, that was my comeback performance. So way to make a comeback to the burlesque stage. She actually wrote to me and asked. She was doing her show, the Ship Ship Hooray, which was at the Roxy at the time on the Sunset Strip, and so. It was amazing. There was people like Perez Hilton tweeting about my performance, and tons of people that I really admire. So it was an honor to share the stage with her and to perform for people that I really admire and inspire me.
And when was this?
This was back in May 2011.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Son's 2 now. Yeah,
he's 2. Yeah, yeah.
It's hard. It is hard to date in Los Angeles and be a single parent. It's hard to date in Los Angeles anyway.
That's why I mostly just date battery operated things at this point. I have very good relationships, and I mean, it gets hard though, because there's sometimes I just want to go out with my friends, but then my vibrator like guilts me into staying home and spending time. It's tough.
Was it
We're taking it there, people.
Was it Dresden Dolls that came out with the song "Coin Operated Boy"? They knew exactly what they were talking about. They must have been from LA.
Yeah.
I'm sure they were from LA when they wrote that song.
And Tom, how do you know about this song?
Hey, I'm a fan of the arts.
How do you know
You're
about
off
coin
camera,
I am
so no
a
one
fan
really knows yet
of
who
the
you are.
arts. This is me over here. Hey, how's it going?
He has very charming dimples, by the way.
Oh,
so.
oh my
That's
goodness.
his like
We'll be
signature-
seeing
no.
those any minute.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how he gets in trouble.
We'll talk about those a little bit later, but yes, never ever trust anyone with dimples. I can just say that from firsthand experience.
and a smile that just looks like oh.
That's why I grew a beard. Cover all that.
Because they saw right through you. All right, we have how much time do we have now? 3. Can we skip the break this time? Yeah.
He's the boss right now.
Oh, hey.
He, by the way, is my designated
I was
now.
wondering.
I'm really excited that I have Julio on board now.
I was wondering who the Who's the Boss was here.
He's my guy. He's the guy. Like
he's your Tony.
He so is my Tony. But
Yeah.
who am I? Am I Judith Light or am I?
You're totally.
my Mona.
Yeah, but I would I'd rather be Judith Light than Mona in this scenario. No offense, but
it's all right.
Let's play musical chairs.
Oh,
if we're not
okay.
going to take a break, why don't we
Wait,
swap?
do you want to take a break? Are you done?
No, no.
Okay.
I was just letting
all right.
Sit,
But let's get Natasha
face
over
for
here
radio.
next to me, and then
We'll
we're going to play musical chairs. And then when we come back, oh no, we don't have to take a break, so we're good. All right, so this has never happened before, by the way. I've always had very designated guests. So while you guys sit with us while we do this, I really appreciate it. So thank you. Okay, hi. Okay.
So I got to tell you, I like this spot. I've got my choice over here. This is awesome.
Yeah, well, you sat in the wrong seat.
You got your
should've
choice
been in
there and here too.
Am I blushing?
I don't know. Is the rosé? Okay,
Yeah.
Mark is like pleasantly in the corner there.
I'm
Yes.
pretty sure this rosé matches my cheeks.
Oh yeah, you know what? Okay, that's good. You want to just do it? Is it going to run naturally anyways? Okay, so we will actually take a break and then work the camera so that everybody can get in. So, wait, I'm really not good at that. Clearly, really not that cool. Okay, so I want to talk to you a little bit about. Do you want to do some comedy now, or do you want to do it after? I mean, you're kind of funny every day. I gotta say, you're like off the cuff. No, the stories that we had, that we can't talk about, were very funny. We could talk about them. I guess.
A lot of things just come, naturally from inspiration, and with stand-up comedy, it's something like I said. I thought, oh, there's no way I could do that, but every day, I mean, there's so many things that happen organically that it's just like, yeah.
Okay, so worst date you've ever been on?
Oh my gosh.
As a single parent.
As a single parent.
Because I think that's a whole nother perspective of bad.
Yeah.
Like my level of bad is I'm like, really shake my hand. So you really think that that's where that's going, right? Like really. Oh my God, are you really doing that?
No, I would never do that.
Oh my God, he is. He's just straight up drinking from the bottle.
Oh, that's very.
We're moving on.
OG
to
of you,
right?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm so, and here's the terrible thing is I grew up in radio. And so there are so many foul things going through my head right now that I cannot say.
You're just suppressing memories. Okay, so tell me, we're going to get to this awful date really quick. We have a minute left. We can at least start it. I want to hear about this date.
Okay, well, maybe not just a date per se, but I actually, part of some of my comedy is that, like, in the past, I've always gone for bad boys, But I always wonder, like, what happened? No, honey. See?
Yeah, I know.
What I want to know is what happened to the days when bad just stood for, like James Dean was rolling up to your house in a classic car.
Criminal shit.
You know what I mean? And now
gotcha. Can you delete that? Oh my gosh, I just said a bad word. I'm sorry. I never say that. We have to take a break on that note.
Yeah, you better believe it.
We're gonna backtrack on that on the YouTube video. Oh no, I never say a bad word ever. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host Dawn Garcia on APOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
The experts know that for pastry, Baker's Bodega has it all. Exclusive brands like Westco Bank Mart, Satin Ice, and Pastry Pride. One-on-one day seminars for cake decorating and gelatin art. So for our service, wide range of ingredients and supplies, and for the low prices, Baker's Bodega has it all. But you don't need to be an expert. Baker's Bodega, 7869 Paramount Boulevard in Pico Rivera. Come, we're waiting for you.
We are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rand Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, The other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-693-GUYS, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concepts, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
Hi, I'm Aaron Michael Sanchez.
And I'm Kelly V. Dolan.
And we are excited to announce our show Live with Aaron and Kelly is on Rant Radio Network. What do we talk about on our show, Kelly?
We talk about everything from entertainment to business and tech, and we have a few laughs in between.
That's right. Go check us out on rantradionetwork.com. That's rantradionetwork.com.
Check it out.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. Hi, you guys. All right, so sorry that I had a bad word that I said. I was like so relaxed. It was just so casual. We were talking about something so important. Oh, that's an awful angle for me.
That's a great angle for
oh
you,
my
Dawn.
God, it's an awful angle. That's okay. It's not everybody else, I guess. All right, so moving on. Back in my head. Is there possible to move it a little bit since I'm actually the host?
Do you want to
just we can scoot.
It's all right. It's
Scootsies.
all right. Whatever.
Scootsies.
Just like a little bit more direct. So
there you go. Oh, look at. Oh, wait.
That's fine. Whatever. Hi, Chris.
Hey.
You're gonna have to squeeze in tight, my boy over there. You're gonna have to get cuddly. Are you off? Are you done? Are you had enough wine?
I can just watch you guys and learn now.
Is that you can soak it in? Okay.
I'm an observer.
You are?
Yes.
The quiet blue-eyed observer. Yes. With the very fancy glass of wine in his hand. Okay. So I would like to get back to Natasha.
Please.
And then we will get back to you. But
Hey, I'm here for Natasha. That's why I'm here.
We are all
I heard
actually
she's
here.
hilarious.
Okay, we're
I wanted
here
to
for
make
Chris
sure
and
to
Natasha.
be here for Chris and Natasha.
Yes. So, and Tom, we're
To
coming back to you.
To us.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
honestly, I'm just here for the wine.
I know. Well, and I made you come. I'm so glad that it worked out, actually.
Yes, you did.
Whoa.
Yes, you did.
No, because he's here from, where do you live?
I live in Salt Lake City.
So he's actually here for a day. He literally
Yeah,
had
I
meetings.
flew in last night around, I think
Yeah.
I landed around 10, had a meeting, and now I'm catching a flight back. But when Dawn Garcia says, you must come, I come to the radio
because
station.
you're never here.
No, I am
No, it's
never
like
here.
very, very, very difficult to get him to but it was like maybe we were thinking.
Let's talk about Natasha.
Yeah, we were
Let's
thinking it would
enough
come on the
about me.
end.
Let's talk about you.
So you went to the George Lopez, and that was kind of when everything changed.
Yeah, that's
when you opened the door to comedy.
Right. Yeah.
So the most exciting moment you've had so far, and then I really want to get back to that date because we didn't really get to finish the experience of after a child.
The most exciting moment I've had, in general.
Well, comedically, I guess. The fun is when you kind of knew, okay, this is not such. I mean, I know you got the scout that came, and he was all about that. But I think that's validating. But I think sometimes more it's what you get, the feedback that you get from people who didn't expect you to be funny.
Yeah, there's that. I think it's also very validating when people that aren't your friends and family say "Oh, you're really funny."
They're not obligated to tell you that you're awesome. The warmers or whatever, the warm crowd. Is that what it's called? The warm crowd?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's just been, I think, too, face it, it's a man's world, and I face that with music as well. Burlesque, obviously, not as much. It's the
I would like to see a man trying to do
thank
burlesque.
God for that.
There's some amazingly
God for
talented. No. There's some amazingly talented boylesque performers out there. But really, it's the only place where women are the majority. But in comedy, same as with music, especially if you have a certain aesthetic and you come in looking, everyone just assumes oh, whose girlfriend are you backstage, But then you get up there and it's really. I mean, it's not about that, but it is nice.
But that's true, very, very much
serve it to
in
them.
all entertainment.
Yes.
Just for the record. Yeah, it doesn't really change. So I wonder, where'd you come from? You have boobs. What?
Yeah.
And you're smart? I'm sorry, I'm very distracted. I'm very distracted. You're up top.
Yeah.
No,
You're
yeah.
like,
And you
no,
know
I'm the other way.
No, that's why you're you know what? If that's going to get you should listen.
I'm fine with that.
Hey, well, and I'm a man pushing my 40s, and so I have that problem anyway. Brains and tits, and I just can't help it. I'm brains and
Goodness gracious!
I am so sorry. Brains and mammarian, man-marian.
Oh my gosh, this is taking a very bad turn.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm just gonna shut up and drink the wine now.
Go on.
So that's been great, and really I think performing on the main stage was really exciting, and it's really addicting. I love doing it, and it's thrilling and exciting and exhilarating. So
have you been changing it up each time?
A little
or
bit.
Do you kind of like try out? I mean, I know you have to like try different things out, but I always wonder if you figured that something works.
Yeah, then
the dating thing for sure, right? Because everybody responds, because everybody understands. It's all the woes of everyone in LA.
Right, yeah. And that's really the beauty of it too, is that there's so much diversity within, like, in any show you're in. Every comic is so different, has such a different style, and it's great that everybody can be showcased and appreciated. And
yes,
yeah.
Well, and we were talking about how and I can say this, you don't have to agree, but how I do find that I think it's wonderful that you actually show up dressed up looking like a woman, and you don't dowdy yourself down. You just embrace you. Like, that's so nice, because anybody who's gone to see comedians, I feel like they dumb themselves down, or they dress not so female-like, and then you see them out and they're totally different. It's this mentality. So I actually appreciate, and I know, I love dolling myself up, but still, I just, as a woman, you're not only smart and fierce, but you actually take care of that. You go out there and you embrace who you are, and I think that's very, for me anyways, that's something that I respect a lot.
Well, and
go ahead.
You first, please. You beat me by a split
please,
second.
everybody.
There is something.
Everybody.
All at once. Go ahead.
There is something incredibly sexy about a woman who's confident in who she is.
Yes.
There is something, and then some guys may have an issue with it. Some guys may feel threatened, but there is something that is so incredibly hot about a woman that is comfortable in her own skin and is willing just to say, you know what, this is who I am. I am okay with it. I like exactly the way that I look. And to me, there's nothing hotter than that.
The threatened ones are called boys.
You know what? Let me tell you how intimidated men are, right? Like, they play a good game, but they're, your game's, I'm sorry.
Deep
Stop
down,
looking
we're
at
all
me.
chickens,
But
really.
you got like a weak game.
Oh, major.
Like, my thing is, as confident as independent, and you could back me up or go the opposite, but like, I just feel like proper asking out of a date. Like, why is that so freaking difficult?
Yeah, it's actually really easy.
Or they
I
just
think
want,
most
like,
guys,
sex.
if you just, which, hey.
I'm not saying we don't have our needs, but I just feel like it's like, that's the norm. Actually taking someone out and doing that. And I hear that from like my guy friends, my girlfriends. It seems like that process. Like, I dress old school, but I actually went the modern way. It doesn't work for me. Like, that old school, there's something to be said about that value. Like, that just basic, like, you're a woman, you deserve respect.
Yes.
But do you think that sometimes I think it's so easy to take a woman out. Don't you think cooking dinner for them is nice? Like,
it would be very nice.
More.
Are you offering to cook us dinner, Chris?
Advanced for a first
nice,
date.
Chris.
But yeah,
but that's what I'm
but
saying.
It is.
I
You're
would
putting
love
real
to be...
effort in. You go out and you pick ingredients.
Yes.
You ask what they like. You go out, you go to the farmer's market, you pick out the salad. You pick
I
out
think everybody would appreciate that.
I think anything that's thoughtful and considerate,
It is.
anything that shows you put time and effort into
it's
it.
the gesture. It's not.
I waited in the McDonald's drive-thru for 20 minutes.
How
Are you
romantic.
kidding me?
But
I
have
waited
been
for
on
the
some
hot
dates
fries.
like that.
I waited
God,
for the
that's
hot
just
fries.
wrong.
That's why I'm late.
But that's a grand. That's actually the cooking of a meal. That's actually a grand gesture. I think I would consider that a grand, because there is way more thought into that than making a reservation at a restaurant.
Well,
that's what I mean.
Hey.
Well,
Let's
and-
not
and wait-
overlook.
Yeah.
I
I've worked
know.
in restaurants,
I know.
sister.
Depends on what kind of restaurant. If we're talking like a restaurant on, like at the SLS hotel or something, then I'd rather go to a nice restaurant than
have a man.
Oh,
cook
you're
a
talking to
meal
the girl
for
that is.
you.
I'm a food
Come on,
snob,
girl.
so trust me, I want a good meal. Don't get me wrong. That is something, right? They're like, we're gonna take you out to dinner, and you go, and you're like, really? This is what you chose?
Yeah.
White Castle.
And we're in LA.
Oh, yeah.
We're in LA
White
where there is
Castle,
a
what?
plentiful
Ooh,
amount
yeah.
of good
Fly
restaurants
those in.
and great chefs, and they're not all $400 meals. These are, you could find like a really again though, like, I guess it shouldn't matter, right? That's the other thing. When they tell you
should.
that they can't,
It should matter.
but when they tell
I
you that they
think it
can't
matters.
afford to take you out, I'm like, I don't really need to know that. I don't.
That's
Just take me out. I will never know.
Borrow your
It's
mom's
all about
credit
how you
card.
carry yourself. You know what I mean? Like, I don't need to know that.
Well, but then you have to ask the question, though, if a guy can't afford to take you out, is
Why is
that
he
a
dating?
guy that you want
No.
to be?
I
And
know.
I'm asking that as
Back you
I'm
up on
asking
that.
that as
Yeah.
as a man.
No, and the thing is, it's not about the. For me, it's not like I don't need you to be rich because the fluctuation. We're in
I
an
do,
economy
just
that
for the
fluc-
record.
No, I would
I
like a
do
man that
need
can
to be rich.
support himself.
Oh, I totally
That
agree.
can support himself and is determined and isn't. I'm sorry, but like, what world do you live in that you think like you're at the same level where if you can't even pay your bills, how are you like? And I don't want to know about it. Like, I don't really want to know that you can't pay your bills. Like, I just don't.
I'm getting paid for the show, right?
So yeah.
Speaking of
Checks
bills.
in the mail, Chris. It is.
Is there
yeah.
a check ready for me on
Well,
the way out?
But that then begs the question, though. I mean, if a guy can't afford to take you out, and you
You
obviously
shouldn't be dating in LA.
well, that's true. He probably shouldn't be in LA
If he
to
can't
begin
afford
with.
to take me out, then he needs to get a job.
But getting
That is
yeah,
exactly
that's
it.
true. Yeah. Well,
you get a job regardless of taking you out.
Yeah, he
Right.
really should. Yes,
Yeah.
no, a man.
But then he
a
needs
man
to
is a
move
man.
aside so that someone who can.
to me, honestly,
Clear the way.
that's a huge warning
So,
sign.
Chris, make
That's a
me
huge
dinner
warning
right
sign.
now.
Speaking as a guy who's betrothed, for the last, 12 years, or been in.
Wait, can we go back and rewind that to the 12 years?
Well, no, I couldn't. I couldn't.
listening?
I apologize. I didn't mean it like that. But I've been with my wife now for
Long time.
11 years. I guess I'm doing the math. And as
like
a,
15,
as a
but-
guy who's been married, yeah, what's 11 to 15? It's all kind of a blur from what I understand. But as a guy, speaking as a big brother, I would say if the guy can't afford to take you out for a meal, then he's not a guy. I wouldn't want my sister dating somebody who
I
can't
can't be
afford
that
to take
nice.
somebody
That
out.
doesn't
No, I
make
just
him
can't be
not
that
a good
nice.
person.
Well, and
No,
keep
it's
in mind.
not about being a good person. And I actually was taken out by this guy who literally tallied up the cost of 2 dates, and I thought
Did he send you a bill?
he actually mentioned to me I spent this much, and I thought, and what do you think that entitles you to? I'm sorry.
It was an invoice.
A hearty handshake.
No.
It was an invoice that I
Yeah,
sent.
and I thought, oh my God. And I said, I didn't ask you to spend that much money. I could have gone anywhere. I don't need to know how much you spend. I didn't give you like a list of these are my approved restaurants. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if you picked that place, then that's on you, man.
Hey,
And then if you're telling me about it, bye-bye.
I'm going to Dawn's Facebook page and I'm posting a list of
Every-
approved restaurants.
Checklist.
I should have a
Totally.
list,
That's
right?
a great idea for a website.
It
to say
is.
like date approved, like woman approved.
I'm
You
gonna
can
make.
pick
I
off-
work for City Search,
Yeah.
and I do like ice
Artist.
scouting. So I'm gonna make a list, approved date-worthy places in LA.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing to keep in mind, I mean, we're just talking about food.
Yeah, but
No,
but
I do.
Genuine old school men
No,
that understand,
but in
like,
it-
no, he's bad.
Yeah.
But you know what? That would be. Look, I have my guy friends, and I have to tell you, women are actually worse, I think, than men sometimes. Like
At
women
what?
are scandalous. No, because they don't have their stuff together.
Okay. I think that women are much more likely to justify. Like in my situation, one of my comedy bits is about, is these bad boys. Like it used to mean that you had a man like James Dean rolling up in a classic car and he was,
They still had it together.
But
still had it together.
But nowadays, bad just stands for broke ass dude.
That
And
is
let me
so
tell you something.
true.
Let me tell you something.
That is
like
so true.
I realized that these guys did not want a girlfriend. They wanted a mommy. But guess what? I
What
already
is
have
that?
a 2-year-old son, and it's pretty much the same damn thing. And let me tell you why. Whenever we want to go somewhere, like I want to take my kids somewhere, I always have to pick him up and drop him off because he don't drive. No. He
he's
doesn't
a
have a
child.
DUI. Yeah. But I'm still the driver. If we go to dinner, to the movies, guess who's paying?
Yeah.
Me, because my son doesn't have a job.
Right.
But you know what? What makes my son so much better, I would take him over dating,
that, yes.
is because he doesn't smoke my weed, drink my liquor, and I don't have to blow him at the end of the night. So, much better deal. I'm just saying. I'm just
All right,
saying.
you got to keep the rest of it clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I.
yeah, and shows canceled.
Oh no, please.
Never.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't do any of those
Wait,
things.
real quick. I want to get back to a point that I think is really important that Dawn brought up. Is you were saying that she beautifies herself before going on stage, and I think for a female comedian that's a hindrance to the audience. because as a man, when you're watching a beautiful woman on stage, I think women should, if they're doing stand-up comedy specifically, should wear less makeup and dress it down.
Why? Because you can't keep your mind on the right.
We're men. We're men.
Well, that's your problem, not mine. Why should I have to not be cute because you can't handle it?
Well, then the comedy needs to match the level of beauty, right?
But it does.
Ooh.
In your mind, maybe, but thank God there's lots.
No. I go to a I've gone to the HBO Comedy Festival. I went 8-9 years in a row in Aspen. I'm a huge comedy fan, but I find it's distracting. Like there's already, I feel, an uphill battle that's very unfair. And comments have been made.
I agree with that. That is a common mentality. However, I
think it's time to change that mentality.
Yeah, I don't see any reason. Like I said, I think that's their problem.
But as a performer, you have to know your audience.
But the other thing is, I'm a writer. Do you think people expect me to even look like a human?
Well, see, writers.
Yeah, but you're not.
That's the thing. You don't have to look like a human in a
but then I
being a
come
writer.
in, and not only am I a person who can write well and speak well, but I actually take care of myself. I'm intelligent, and I can hold a conversation, which most writers actually cannot. A lot of writers have a very difficult time in social situations. But I find that I deal with that kind of
mentality.
Yes, it is. It's
mentality. Yeah, let's just point that
which
out
is unfortunate.
Is there an H in that?
I don't know. Is it Vince's? It's hard. It's frustrating to hear that.
I think it's frustrating. But it is the truth. It's you watch it and it is distracting. I mean, as men, we are pigs. Like we are.
But you know what?
We are naturally attracted. It's hard to shut that off. Is the point? We can't just shut that down.
Well, then don't shut it off. But you know what? I can prove you wrong. And just because if I ever think of women in society or in history that I've ever admired, they were all like bombshells with balls. They all went above and beyond and did their own thing. Like Mae West was a trailblazer, a pioneer of her time, and people told her, no, you can't.
Even Rita Hayworth.
Yeah, you can't be this glamorous and act like a man and do all. You can't be a producer and a director and write your scripts. You know, you need to look and fit into a certain mold. But did she do that? No, and that's why she's somebody that we all remember. And as soon as I say her name, everyone knows who she is.
Look at who's gonna be super famous. Right here,
she
is stepping up to the plate.
No, you know what though? That's how you should be. We all need to have you should have a fierce mentality. You should, because successful entrepreneurs do not need to be men. Not all need to be men. I mean, Fortune 500, is Oprah the only one?
Well, you got Meg Whitman. For HP, you've got Oprah.
Really
you've got
associated with that, but I'm just saying.
I'm saying, like, in that case, you would say, like, a guy, guys come and they have nice cars, but really they could be broke and
they are broke.
Then you should be on a skateboard. Give me a heads up and let me know what's really going on.
I would rather have it up front. No, but I would rather have it up front, to be honest. Let me choose.
Yeah.
I don't want the facade. Like, I think, give me who you are as a man. I am who I am.
Oh,
but I
also
totally want to put like sweats and a shirt on at the end of the day, ponytail and no makeup. You know what I mean? Like,
but you're not going to go out on a date like that, though. No. And you got to keep in mind that in the early stages of dating,
it should be courting.
It's courting. It's courting, and that's the cognitive dissonance I've got. I'm picking up over here.
Oh, 10 seconds.
I'll save that for after the break.
No,
then.
because I actually would like to talk about
I'm going on this great
I will
rant,
talk about my first,
and it's 10 seconds. No way I can do it.
You gotta go to.
I love your parents' first date story.
Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time. Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concepts, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Lazo with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on RantRadioNetwork.com.
are the Three Guys Rant
with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rand Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69 The Three Guys.
It's not the Three Guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69 3 Guys, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
This is Anthony Sykes, your host for Sykes Accounting and Consulting radio show, where we help small businesses grow and give you tax tips every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us here on rantradionetwork.com. Thank you.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
This segment has been brought to you by Coco Cafe. It's a cafe latte coconut water with espresso. And I came across this wonderful little drink just recently, and it has to be one of the best things I've ever had. I'm pretty obsessed with cocoa water and espresso, so the thought of it together was a little bit, I wasn't sure what I was going to get, but my gosh, let me tell you, it's super tasty. It's made with natural coconut water, a strong shot of espresso, and a splash of reduced fat milk. You can visit them online for more information at drinkcococafe.com. Once again, I want to thank everyone at Coco Cafe for being a sponsor of this radio show. Thanks so much. Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. Hello, hello. So welcome back. I just want to say that hosting a show like this is very entertaining. And
we've ruffled a lot of feathers.
Really, we're talking about unknowingly talked about chauvinism and
all in the name of comedy.
Well, but okay, so here's the thing I want to say is I recently had this conversation. People have asked me, like, why don't I date? And I said, I'm just kind of over the way men think. Case in point. Mark was saying off camera, of course, now I'm calling you out on camera, but that, you didn't, like, people grew up with this old school mentality. A lot of people over 30 had parents that had this 50s mentality that you open doors and you do things like that. And I actually think that feminism has gone so far outside of what it was ever intended to be, and that it's shot us in the foot a little bit, because I am a very strong, independent woman. I mean, I'm going to have my own empire. You just wait. And I'm going to rule the freaking world in my own little world, and I'm going to give people but the whole purpose of me wanting to do what I do is to give other people an opportunity to do what they do. And that's why I love what I do. But the other thing is I still, no matter how strong I am and no matter how dolled up I get, I still expect a man to do nice things like open a car door for me or want to ask me out on a proper date. Like, I don't see why there's something wrong with that. And we live in a world where technology is so prominent and people communicate only via text.
Yes.
Which is super annoying. Like, I don't need to have all my conversations
because you can't read the tone, and when you don't,
oh my god, and we're like, yeah, and you know how all of us in this room actually probably, all
and then you're sitting there waiting, like, oh my god, it's been like 2 minutes.
It's been like 2 minutes, and he hasn't written me back, and they might be in the bathroom. Okay, but in our world,
but then you go on Facebook and you're like, oh,
they just posted, right? He just posted.
Why didn't he text? He didn't text, but he had
here's the problem. Here's the problem as I see it. Okay, you're looking at the world in the traditional black and white TV in an internet society. Well, no, you are. I mean, that is the traditional way. When you look back, that's the traditional values of courting, the traditional values where if you really want to take someone home, you might ask them out after church to walk them home. And then maybe 4 years later, you might. But
that is not what I'm saying. You're talking to a sensual woman.
But that's black and white TV.
No. I embrace my sexuality. I embrace all of that. I would not dress this way or have things if I did not embrace my sexuality. But what I'm saying is, I still think that you can be that person and still expect respect.
Well,
there's
absolutely.
a level of respect that has been lost.
Well, no, and I disagree. And here's why. And there may be men out there who do not bring respect. Well, you know what? That's why there's this 10% of us who have
married
stayed
and have
married for
children.
11 years is because we're willing to give that respect. But there are guys out there like that,
No,
and
there
it's
are,
unfortunate. It's just like you got to wade through the landfill
And women
to
are
get
no better, though.
that
I have to
diamond that
say,
might be sitting out there.
I don't think women are any better because I think women are just like they've taken that role on, and like I mean I hear some stories and I'm like, God.
Well, you've
But,
heard
you know,
you've heard the phrase "Why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?" I mean, anymore.
Welcome to 1950 black and white, right there.
Yeah,
buddy.
Well,
why
I
buy the
know,
whole pig
I
when
know.
all you want is
However-
a little sausage. Same thing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you can flip this either way. Why?
But the point is milk and sausage are available virtually everywhere now. I mean, it's not one of those things.
Anybody can have it whenever, right?
I mean, how often do you get that text message? I mean, I don't anymore because it's been a long time. That text message at 11:30 at night saying, "Hey, what are you doing?" I mean, you and I, we all know what that is, and you and I both know that that's not about respect. That's not about opening your door. That's just about the sausage and the milk
It's a box.
is
Box that wants
easy to
be
get.
opened.
That's really what it is. And as long as, frankly, as long as sex becomes a commodity, then people are going to appreciate it less. And if they appreciate it less, they're going to exert less effort. They're going to exert less respect.
I think this is a line of you just have to be clear about what you want.
Yes.
Some women, there's nothing wrong, and there's this whole I think idea of slut shaming and thinking that it's so.
No, and I don't think
no,
it
this
is.
isn't
If
about
that's what makes
shaming.
you happy, though,
sexually
then that's the
liberal.
thing. It is. I think it's about knowing what you want. I think it's just the assumption is what's frustrating to me.
Yes, once you start assuming, that's when.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm all for it. Like, I think it's liberating. If I could do that in my own head, I probably would be that girl. I just am not that girl, and I've come to accept that that's just not who I am. But I don't have a problem with somebody who is like that. Because if it makes them happy and makes them and it makes them feel like liberated and wanted, I think that's wonderful. I think it's just like it's much harder now to find the people that like match up with you, because I think there is sort of this like little pool of everybody that thinks the same way, and it's become very accepted that you do have Facebook at the women should take the pressure off of themselves when dating men to impress women, not the other way around. Ladies, you are the prize, and that's what exactly.
I like him.
I love Julio. No, because you know what?
But
he was raised that way, and I think finding the men who believe
I'm about
that
to
women,
raise you.
Here's the thing.
Seriously, right?
Whoa. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. Getting back to cognitive
wait.
dissonance.
Let's hear that. Wait.
Catch-22 dating successful women, though, because if I get out of the car and open that door for a woman,
It depends on who the woman is, though.
correct.
I
She should
agree.
appreciate that. I'm going to do everything old school. I was taught that way.
Yeah.
This is just what I do. I buy you dinner.
See,
I
that's the
open the
thing
car
is-
door
Yeah.
for you. I pick you up. This is what I do. But there's many successful women that would look at me like, what am I helpless?
I actually had a man, this older gentleman. He was like in his 60s. He opened the door for me at Starbucks, and I said, "Oh my gosh, you so get the gold star for the day. How lovely that was." And he says, "Do you know that there was this woman I opened the door for, and she said, 'Why would you do that?'" And I said, and I completely agree, because I am on my, I do have that successful woman entrepreneurial
I can take care of myself.
mentality.
I'm good. I'm
but,
fine. I got
But
this.
the thing is I do that for my business. I don't want to do that in my personal life. Like I take care of my daughter just like you take care of your son. I take care of somebody else, and she's my world. And I would take good care of a man, but I do not want to take care of a man-child. I want a man that can be like, I don't want to be stronger than the man.
Define take care of, because that's kind of an interesting.
There's a difference between like nurturing emotionally and nurturing literally.
Like giving him food.
Like,
or I'm
no, because I actually know someone who's like, the dinner has to be on the table. I'm like, seriously, she's got 3 kids. You can't just make your dinner that night. Seriously, like why? She's tired.
Well, see, and here's the thing. You want the old school chivalry.
Yes. And I think there's a balance, though.
Well, and that's the thing, is you want the old school chivalry, but when you look back at the old school chivalry,
the
there were
women-
certain other
she
social
didn't work, though.
expectations
She
that went
didn't
along
work.
with that.
The women didn't work.
Absolutely, they did not.
We're right in the middle of it. This is the problem.
Yeah.
No, you're
right
right.
in the middle of this evolution.
We are, and that's the thing, is I think finding the balance, because it's teetered the scales. I mean, I'm curious to see like your input, because I know you've got like some good approach, but I feel like the scales have shifted so drastically that now we're at that point where we're trying to find the happy balance.
I just don't think it's that hard. All
Yeah,
I'm
that's
hearing
true.
is like excuses. Well, I try to be a good guy. Well, girls from both ends, and I'm not singling out men in general. It's really not that hard.
It shouldn't be that hard.
It shouldn't be that hard. It's yeah.
It just has to work or doesn't work. It's that simple. And then if it doesn't, you move on. You don't take it personally.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the hard
Don't
part.
take anything personally. I think is the
But while you're waiting for the good, the nice gentlemen and all this, the bad boys.
Right, and we're just kind of hungry, so we're like, all
maintenance,
right,
right.
that's not
It's
so
like
bad.
It is.
Why do you
No.
have that
Yeah.
to deal with before you get to the good guy?
Yeah.
No, it's
But
fine.
you know what? You can't have steak for every meal. You know, sometimes you got to have
Really?
hot dog. Sometimes you got to have hamburger. You can't always have filet mignon at every meal. Although there may come
What
a
about
point.
foie?
You know what? I know
Right?
we're in California, so we can't necessarily
I know, but
have
we gotta go find us
foie.
a
But
I know you know. I'm so going. I'm just telling you
But-
right now. Like
but-
I'm there in like 3 weeks.
but the point again, though, the point
House,
being
everything.
though is
Save a room.
if you're going to run a marathon, you don't run a marathon every day.
No, you gear up for the marathon.
You know, you
So what are you
have
trying
your
to
little
say?
bits. Yeah, you
So
you got to
you-
go through
I
a
was just
lot
about to say
of
something I
test runs. You got to go through a lot of mile, 2 mile, 3 mile runs before you finally find the big one, the big marathon that you're going to run your whole marathon.
Are we talking about like a sex club? Like
And that,
I
well,
don't
we're
know.
talking.
I don't know where
You know,
you're
we're
going
talking
with
about,
this.
and you could call it. You could call it. You could call it the one. You could call it. You could call it your soulmate. You could call it.
The
You
run
could,
fair.
you could call it. You could call it your soulmate. You could call it the one. But you got to go on a lot of different runs until
No,
you
and
get
I know,
up
like,
to the
I
point
agree
that you're
with
ready to get that
I
person.
think you should go on.
You should
run a lot.
You should because
I think
you
should
know
run
what
as
you want.
much as possible,
Lots and lots.
as many places as possible, as many shoes as possible.
Right.
You should keep
Try it
running,
out.
I
keep
love
on
the way
running.
you think.
But what I'm finding interesting is that like all of the men keep saying what women want.
They
or
don't
what
actually
women
know.
want
I
in
don't
this guy.
know.
No, I'm just curious. What do guys? You know,
Yeah.
you're saying that. Oh, well, women want the chivalry,
what
but
would-
they don't want
yeah.
this. They want this, but they don't want this. So what is it that you want from a woman?
Beer
Here.
and sex. That's it.
Well, I
Okay.
could have guessed that. Yeah.
Okay,
That's true. I
Well,
mean,
and that's-
oh,
no, we
food
had
and
this
sex.
discussion.
Yeah.
I think that is basic.
Yeah.
Basic. It's the primal. I mean, look, I'm primal. I think that you're probably primal, and you just want those. Like, it's not like because I'm successful and I expect to be treated like a lady, I'm not hungry for other things. I'm just saying, it's a matter of.
Well, no, it's hierarchy of
Feels-
needs.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I can hear them from right
I
here.
like who's
right?
gonna
It's
take
like-
that one.
Like a roller coaster. Okay, so let's start here. We're gonna make our way around. We already got beer and sex, so.
I had a girl at a store, deep rural Northern California, saying years ago.
I was not sure where that
19
was
years old,
going,
she was
actually.
pregnant with her boyfriend. She goes, "Why are you guys so complicated?" And I can't repeat what she said or what I said, but I said, "Feed us and F us."
Yeah.
And I was just simple. I was just going through the line in the checkout stand. I just said that to her. And as 19-year-old, she looked at me. She goes, "You really are that simple." I'm
Yeah.
like,
You
to
real-
a point.
yeah.
Pretty much, yes.
But you know what I
We
think?
are.
I think women, honestly, we want the same basic things,
Right.
but we just no. I don't
I
need.
agree.
Like, I swear to God, it's like, why do we overcomplicate it? Because I need my needs met. I need to.
Simple.
A woman needs to feel wanted. I think it is as basic as that. And you feel wanted when your man is
But
like,
so
I
do
want to
we.
hang on to that,
So
or.
do we.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. A man deserves the same. It's just a mutually
A man wants to feel wanted by many. A woman just wants to
feel wanted by one.
one.
That
I
is-
don't agree with that. No, I don't agree with that.
The Hallmark line is coming out next week.
Yeah.
Oh, until the bad boy.
The Cholita, right?
Well, no, and to that point, I mean, think about is it
so true.
Going back to the movie, was it Tao of Steve? Was it Don Juan, Don Quixote? I don't remember. One of the
Don
Dons.
DeMarco?
Don, yeah. And the whole concept of the line is this one particular individual had relations with many women because he was afraid of being loved by one.
Yeah.
And if you can
Sounds
find
about
the
right for a
man,
man.
but no, but that's one example.
It
There
is.
are men.
That's one example, but it's like the same.
But there are men who have that desire to find that one true love, that one person who
See, and then
they
they
can.
get burned though. They
Then
get
they-
burned, and it's very
But
hard
then
for
you know
a man
what?
to
Find it,
come
and
back
they're
from
like,
that.
Well,
you know?
that's true. Some do get burned, and the rest of them get married.
We have
and
30
that's why they're off
seconds
the market.
before we take our next break. But I do think that that's true, actually. And then, but a man gets burned. It's very woman. I think it's very hard for us to recover, and we become a little bit more like cold and a lot less.
Jaded?
Yes. And with inflection. I like that, Jaded.
The mic
Yeah.
goes away from you on that one.
Okay, 10 seconds. We'll just come back after that. But yeah, I do think that it's cynical. I fight very, very hard against being a cynic. It's very hard.
Again, thank you for watching. Taste of Dawn.
Yes, we'll be right back after this. Taste of Dawn. Tweet me, A Taste of Dawn. No, we can-
There's 50.
Thanks for tuning in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia, on ATOD Radio, savoring life one moment at a time. Welcome to the Monster Marketing Group, your one-stop shop for all your marketing needs. Anything you need to make that marketing and advertising campaign stand out, we're your people. Concepts, design, production, social media, anything that you can dream up, we're going to make happen for you. And we can do it in a very quick turnaround. Please give us a call at 888-49-MONSTER.
What up, foodie freaks? It's Chef Bev Laza with the Culinary Trend Show. Join me and my brigade every Thursday night from 8 to 9 p.m. where we will be cooking up some crazy stuff that will give you the appetite for discussion. It's all about the good food, good friends, and good times. Only here on rantradionetwork.com.
We are the Three Guys Rant with Arvin, Mike, and Phil.
Coming to you on the Rand Radio Network every Monday from 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can call us at 855-69-THE-3-GUYS.
It's not the three guys. This is why you should turn in, because one has Tourette's, the other one's illiterate.
You really should listen in. You never know what's going to happen.
855-69-3-GUYS, G-U-Y-S, and the number 3, not the.
Faces for radio, voices for the deaf.
Look forward to talking to you.
Hey, I'm audio candy. I don't know about you guys.
This is Anthony Sykes, your host for Sykes Accounting and Consulting radio show, where we help small businesses grow and give you tax tips every Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Catch us here on rantradionetwork.com. Thank you.
This segment's sponsored by Mucho Macho Michelada. Whenever you got to spice up your beer, Mucho Macho Michelada is for you. Only real men.
Did you say mucho macho?
Mucho Macho, baby, where the real men come to drink.
Hey, I don't always drink michelada, but when I do, I drink mucho macho michelada.
If only Arvin could be a little more mucho macho.
Will it put some hair on my chest?
No, but te quema entrando y saliendo.
Hi, everyone. This is A Taste of Dawn. I'm your host, Dawn Garcia, and this is a show about indulging in this crazy thing we call life. All right, you guys, we are back on the air, and we're down to our last 10 minutes. I'm going to give 5 minutes for everybody to just kind of like say their thing. This is kind of like Crossfire real quick, so
awesome.
Say your thing. So go. You have your mic too, Mark.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, Governor.
Hello.
And he pulls out the wine.
Yeah.
Do you want to say anything? Literally, 5 minutes. You got 5 minutes. Bust it out.
Everyone needs to pay more attention at what the other needs, work a little harder at it, and be more of a man. And women need to be more women.
I agree.
It's so simple.
Yes.
This is not simple. We're all mind-fucking ourselves apart. I said it. Yes.
We can't say that on the air. Do you
We're
understand?
overcomplicating this.
But we have restrictions on the air.
I'm so sorry.
Ugh.
Mind-effing ourselves.
Seriously.
Keep it
Okay.
simple.
Well,
you
now let's go to
guys.
the lovely story. Yeah, no.
Cartoon Network.
No, that's fine. So what were your, one of the things we're talking about, you were talking about restaurants and being taken to nice places. When my parents met, their first date was going to a watermelon stand. And I know they're probably in the Depression, fabulous restaurants. But the stories, there was a great book, it was like a personal journal. It was called All About Me. And I bought that for my parents and both of them to fill out and ask very simple questions from what was your favorite candy as a child, your first kiss. It's a very simple. And they also have a book called All About Us. And I think they're really brilliant. They're really smart books. But that was in both of my parents. They both wrote about the times that they really loved and that were important to them.
Yeah.
Was that my dad worked, he worked for AT&T when it was a monopoly then. But they hung out and he got off at midnight and they went and ate watermelon for 20 cents. And that was,
but see, that it's
they've gone to $500.
But they probably had great conversation, and it was so. But see, honestly, somebody asked me that. I've been to I can go to a fancy restaurant anytime.
I can't. And that I think anybody
That's
really,
the
any of
easiest
us
thing to
could,
do.
right?
Yeah.
But what I would want is to be able to walk and hold somebody's hand and actually have a great conversation and feel that. And it is very simple. And I mean, that's just for me. Not everybody wants that. But I just like, I think that little attentiveness is probably good for both people.
Yeah.
You know?
Very simple. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm going to steal a line from an author by the name of Marshall Silver. That I read his book. It's probably 20 years ago. And he talked about soup. And you hit the nail on the head when you say you have to pay attention to everyone's needs. As a chef, I will make whatever soup you want, right? And let's just sticking with the soup to love analogy. Say you come into me and you say you want soup. So I give you the best tomato soup you've ever had in your life, and you eat it and you're like,
I don't like tomato
I
soup.
want a chicken noodle soup.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. It's a two-way street. You've got to number one, you got to communicate, and then you've also got to be receptive. And so if you're saying to me, I want soup, and I give you tomato soup, then that's the
I
question.
have to say I want chicken noodle
exactly.
soup.
The question then becomes whose fault is that for
I want to be asked out on a proper date.
You know what? And that's fine.
Am I clear?
Well, no,
Louis C.K., are you
well,
listening?
You know what the thing is?
Exactly.
The thing is,
Seriously, my phone number
and just to clarify, what is a proper date? That's you just asked for. I want a nice bowl of soup. You didn't say what kind of soup it was. You
on
just
the
said
air, I don't know. I want to.
What kind of bowl you want it served in?
No, I mean,
I want somebody to be thoughtful enough to actually think out how a few hours would go down, and not be like, well, we'll just kind of go with
Plan
it.
those few hours.
Yeah, plan those few.
Know
Even
what
if we
he's
go
going to
off
do
track,
for that
it's
few
okay.
hours.
At least I know that there has been enough excitement and thought into the fact that you're spending time with me because my time is valuable. I'm not going to give you 3 hours of my time if you're going to waste 3 hours of my time. I could be working. Let's be real.
Well,
you know,
pay attention to the 3+ hours I spent with you before that, talking to you about what I
right.
to
Listen, it's
3 hours,
listening, and
yeah.
that's
Actually
both
went
ways,
well.
though. I mean, a woman. I mean, I'm chatty by nature. This is my job, right? But to listen and to listen to what a guy is interested in, just as much as I expect him to listen to my needs, I think that's important. But now, your turn.
Your turn, go girl.
Oh boy,
We're getting deep.
Yeah,
chicken soup for the soul.
I think you know.
Chicken soup.
He said soup. That's what I was like. What?
Mine's more of a margarita for
Crack
the
it,
soul.
please.
Yeah.
On that room.
You know, I think really that it's a frustrating situation, and I would just like for more women to understand that they also have power, and you know, and everything. I really appreciate that the men are trying to bring forth new information and let us know how men really are, but you're not that naive. Treat yourself with respect and understand that, you know, there's nothing, you should never have to apologize for being successful, but also it is nice to let a man be a man and to open those doors. Doesn't mean that, you know, you have to make less money or get, you know.
No, I think that's the biggest thing right now is that would be my thing is a man is happiest when you let him be the man. And a woman is happiest when you make her feel like a woman. It is the fundamentals. And it is not as complicated as, you're right, as we make it. I don't think there's a freaking playbook. I think it's just, you know, I'm a woman, you're a man, we all have basic. Everybody's different.
Yes.
But just if you're in tune enough, observant enough, if you listen enough, I've given everything. I've said it all. I've said it all on my stinking show. You know what I mean? Like, come on,
but
it's public
that goes
knowledge.
both ways because
It
I
does.
think that men make it very easy for women. They without having to say things,
Right.
they communicate many things of
And
whether
we
they're
just
interested
don't
or
pay
not.
attention.
And no, they do, but it's like they see that little red flag and make justifications for it.
Oh, it's
don't.
not gonna
like
work,
a man
yeah.
isn't even. He's not really being sneaky. It's not that hard. You know, he's not doing these things because he doesn't feel
Want to do them.
Yeah,
It's
need
that.
to.
No, it's so. Oh my gosh.
So don't
that's
make
why-
excuses. Be honest with yourself as
Yeah.
well as with the person that
Be
you're
done,
with.
be
and-
done.
Yeah.
Move on.
You know,
Like,
and
as I was
men
saying, let it
listen.
go. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Move on.
Because
Yeah.
women will tell you what they want to, and men, you just got to pick up on those notes.
Absolutely. Yeah. See, that's a very good way to wrap it up,
Yes.
actually. I
And
think-
come see me tonight at the Congo Room in LA.
Are you
Live.
okay?
Oh,
yay!
Oh, Congo room.
Yeah.
All right. So, what do you? Okay, so you have the Congo Room tonight, LA Live.
Yes.
What's your next show performance?
I'm on Shop NBC next week, actually. Next, the 24th.
What time?
on, let's see it, Eastern Time, 6 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Okay, so TiVo him.
Yeah.
Yes, TiVo.
Okay. No, but seriously, and then you got some big things coming you can't talk about yet.
I can't talk about those
But we're
yet.
going to talk about them when they happen.
Okay.
Okay, when you have the green light.
I've
okay.
seen a few big things happening.
I'll be going to the Congo room tonight.
Yay! Woo, okay, so what do you have? I know you just came back from Hong Kong for the special royalty show.
Yeah, heading out
but,
to Links and Laces in Las Vegas. It's a golf tournament.
Nice. And when is that?
Starts Thursday.
So if you're in Vegas and you're going to the golf tournament, check him out because he is no joke. Mark, other than the fact that I'm going to be crashing in like 2 weeks.
You're going to be in Sonoma with me.
3 weeks.
I have a new little company called AV8 Arts, letter A, letter V, number 8 arts.com. We're doing furniture and lighting out of aircraft parts.
Oh my gosh, I love that.
Cool.
New little company we're just getting started. We just got a handful of pieces built, so that's my new little thing that I'd love to throw out there.
Okay, and then I just have to wrap this up with saying thank you so much to everybody for being here, and this is going to be a great little show to rewatch. There's a lot of omission. But I also want to say, for those of you who haven't been to my magazine, atodmagazine.com, I had 6 of the most extraordinary interviews that I've ever had. And it's possible that Pacho Bonton and William Pilgrim from All Grows Up is going to be on the show in the next couple months. And UB40 is our next interview, which I'm really excited about. Yeah, we've got some major ones. So we had an Oscar winner this one. We had a Grammy nominee. We've had 2 Grammy nominees. It was extraordinary. So to Shauna and Matthew and Sebastian and Renee, and I'm missing somebody I know that, and William and to Pato, thank you so much for letting us even feature you and tell your story. And to my guys, Greg and Matthew, you rock, and Alexis for your Magic Castle write-up. So if you haven't gone, atodmagazine.com, Twitter, A Taste of Dawn, Facebook, A Taste of Dawn. It's very easy. Just follow something that sounds scandalous.
Easy with this crap.
And that's all, yeah. So have a really great week. And next week, Wednesday. This is a big deal. Wednesday, I leave Thursday for Austin, so we're actually giving away a trip on Wednesday. So pay attention because you're going to be able to start participating. I think on Friday we'll start posting on the website and on Crackbook, lovingly known as Facebook. So really quick, I think we have like 1 minute. Which Twitter?
Viva la Cholita. And also you can vivalacholita.com to stay updated.
Oh, right, yeah. Okay, Tom?
Cooking Tom Woody or cookwithtom.com.
Okay.
Korn Keezy.
KORNKEEZIE. Yes?
And AV8 Arts, letter A, letter V, number 8 arts.com.
Awesome. So thank you guys again, and have a really good rest of your week. Thank you for keeping this entertaining and very real.
Yeah.
And Natasha, thank you. We're going to have you back.
Thank
and
you for having me.
Oh my God, no, thank you. And thanks to PinUp Clothing for our beautiful wardrobe always. Yes. Thank you, Laura. All right, and Natasha, because you're really responsible for all of it.
Well,
so.
Laura designed it. So.
Laura, yes, Laura, you rock. Just for the record, all you women go to
Thanks for tuning
pinupclothing.com.
in. Once again, this is your host, Dawn Garcia on A Radio. Serving life and moments.